Chapter 1452. There were very few dawn in this world. Some dawn were used for healing and detoxification. Other dawn were basically non-existent. However, Lin Xian was different. Lin Xian's medical skills were all-encompassing. He had all kinds of dawn. Lin Xian had taken time to refine these dawn. In any case, he had to give them to his mothers-in-law, right? Lin Xian smiled and said, "You two don't need to worry about this. These dawn were personally refined by me. Therefore, I know very well whether they are real or not." "You can refine dawn?" Murong Feng froze for a moment. "And I can. Ha ha ha, but I have never heard of the face-preserving dawn in this continent," Yi Fifan said with a smile. "Therefore, if you have never heard of it, it can only be said that you are ignorant and inexperienced. However, you cannot deny everything just because you have never heard of it. You are not the heavens. Your words do not count," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Ka ka ka." Yi Fifan clenched his fist. "Whether it is real or not, Auntie, you can try it now. There will be an effect soon," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Okay." Lin Yu nodded. To be honest, she had never heard of it. However, she felt that this Lin Xian was not ordinary. Moreover, her husband Murong Feng had emphasized to her many times that this Lin Xian was indeed very good. In any case, she did not care whether she believed it or not. As long as she ate it, it would not be harmful. "Okay, then I will try it." Lin Yu smiled and directly swallowed it. In fact, she did not have much expectation. However, everyone had been staring at her skin. Lin Yu did not wear makeup at home. In fact, she did not need to wear makeup. She was very beautiful. However, if you looked carefully, you could see some traces of age on her face. It was very light, but it could be seen. Although it was very light, as a woman, especially a beautiful woman, she cared too much. Murong Feng had told her many times that she was very beautiful, and that it was nothing. However, she understood in her heart. He could only blame himself for not raising his realm when he was younger. Therefore, she had always taught Murong Yu to work hard if she could. Since she had this talent, she should try her best to reach the heavenly venerable realm in her 20s. However, in the next moment, they revealed shocked expressions. "Wife, your face." Murong Feng opened his mouth. "What happened?" Lin Yu asked doubtfully. "See for yourself." Murong Feng was shocked. Lin Yu was a little worried and hurried to the bathroom. Then her surprised voice came from inside. Actually, there wasn't much of a change. Normally, one wouldn't be able to feel anything. However, if one looked closely, they would realize that her skin had become as tender as a woman in her 20s. Furthermore, the faint crow's feet from before had completely disappeared. "This, Lin Xian, your pills are quite powerful. Could it be a new product of the Yixian group?" "What? Art Xian group?" Yi Fifan frowned. "Oh, you guys didn't talk about it? Xiao Xian is from the Yixian group." "I see." Yi Fifan secretly clenched his fist. "Damn it." At this time Lin Xian smiled and said, "It's not a new product. However, it will definitely develop in this direction. When the time comes, the effect won't be as strong. However, it will definitely not be like those so-called skincare products on the market. The effect won't be obvious. When the time comes, it will be launched." After all, the materials used were relatively common. Ha ha ha, this Yixian group will really become the gospel of the common people, Murong Feng said with a smile. Lin Yu ran over. "My skin has become better." Lin Yu was extremely excited. "Your skin has always been very good," Murong Feng said. "Nonsense," Lin Yu hurriedly said. "Xiao Yu, come here." "What?" "Come here quickly." Murong Yu stood up and walked to Lin Yu's side. Then, Lin Yu put her face close to hers. "Hubby, look whose skin is better." Murong Feng. He had to admit that he really could tell that his wife's skin was absolutely as tender as when they first met. He really needed to thank Lin Xian. "It's just as good," Murong Feng said. "Mom, your skin is really very tender." Murong Yu glanced at him and said indifferently, "Don't worry." "Ha ha ha, right?" Lin Yu smiled and pushed Murong Yu aside. Then she looked at Lin Xian and said, "Xiao Xian, Auntie really doesn't know how to thank you." Lin Xian said with a smile, "It's my duty." "Ha ha ha," Quickly, quickly, eat, eat. Fifin, you eat too. Yi Fifin nodded. I say, honey, stop looking. It's so beautiful. Murong Feng said helplessly when he saw Lin Yu looking at the mirror. Lin Yu put down the mirror. Eat, eat. Soon the meal was finished. It could be said that this meal was very enjoyable. However, there were two people who were not very happy. Of course, they were Yi Fifin and Yi Haitao. It's getting late, Brother Morong. I'll leave with Fifin first. I hope Brother Morong will take the matter I told you before to heart. We'll come again in 2 days. Yi Haitao said. Brother Yi, take care. Then the two of them walked away. Dad, that Lin Xian he. Yi Fifin clenched his fist. Can't you learn to be a little more eloquent like him? Yi Haitao said. Dad, you know that I don't know much about this. And that Lin Xian is simply too hypocritical. I can't say anything about it. Yi Fifin said. Sigh, that Morong family seems to like that kid Lin Xian very much. Moreover, he's actually a member of the Yixian group. It seems that he might be at the helm of the Yixian group. He's really not simple. Then what should we do? I really like Morong Yu. Yi Fifin said. When we go back, bring the Yi family's treasure to propose marriage. I don't believe that the Yi family's treasure can't be compared to a small elixir. Xiao Xian, why don't you stay here tonight? On the sofa, the few of them were sitting together and chatting when Lin Yu suddenly popped out a sentence. She was simply too satisfied with Lin Xian. Ha! You're not going back? Isn't that not very good? Lin Xian scratched his head. Mom, he still has something to do. Morong Yu said. Lin Xian shook his head. Actually, it's nothing much. If I leave, I'll stay in a hotel. Actually, staying in a hotel is fine, as long as Uncle and Auntie don't mind. Morong Yu was speechless. Ha ha ha, of course, we don't mind. Shall you go and tidy up your room? Oh. Morong Yu got up. I'm saying that you should tidy up your room. Morong Yu was speechless. Lin Xian was speechless. Damn. Did this mother-in-law know about the matter between him and Morong Yu? It seems so. Damn. This mother-in-law was great. Lin Xian's mothers-in-law are all great. Why? Morong Yu asked. Didn't Xiao Xian say that he wanted to play games with you? Then let's go to your room. Lin Xian nice. Chapter 1453. Under normal circumstances, Lin Yu wouldn't bring a boy to her daughter's room, right? However, this Lin Xian was different. He had already done so many things with her daughter. Moreover, as Morong Yu's mother, Lin Yu could see that her daughter liked Lin Xian. It was just a matter of how much she liked him. Since it was already like this and she also liked this boy, it was fine. This boy was her son-in-law. I don't play games. Morong Yu shook her head and said indifferently. Little Xian wants to play. He is a guest. Even if you don't want to play, you still have to play with him. Do you understand? How did I teach you etiquette? Lin Yu looked at her daughter and said. Morong Yu. How could her mother be bought over by Lin Xian? Okay, I'll go with you to tidy up the room. When the time comes, the three of us can play together. Lin Yu smiled and looked at Lin Xian as she said. Okay, then I'll have to trouble Auntie. Let's go. Lin Yu pulled Morong Yu's hand and walked upstairs. Only Lin Xian and Morong Feng were left in the living room. Here. Morong Feng handed Lin Xian a cigarette. Thank you, Uncle Morong. Lin Xian then snapped his fingers and the two people's cigarette butts were lit. Morong Feng paused for a moment. Ha ha ha, this thing is very useful. Lin Xian nodded. It is very useful. Regarding the matter between you and little Yu, what do you think? Morong Feng asked. Cough cough cough, Lin Xian dryly coughed. Uncle Morong, what do I think? I'm already here, don't you know? Morong Feng took a puff and said, but as far as I know, you have more than one girlfriend, right? Cough cough cough, Lin Xian awkwardly coughed again. Uncle Morong, I'm a man. Please understand. Don't, I can't understand. After all, your aunt is my only woman. Morong Feng said. Lin Xian scratched his head. However, it's rare for little Yu to fall in love with someone. As for you, I can be considered to understand. Although you're fickle in love, other than that, there's nothing else. Moreover, this fickle in love is actually a responsible person. Lin Xian nodded repeatedly. Yes, yes. That's why you're auntie and I don't care about the matters between you and Xiaoyu. Otherwise, with this girl's character, I'm really afraid that she won't find a boyfriend for 10 or 20 years. Wouldn't your auntie and I feel terrible? Lin Xian laughed. 10 or 20 years. Uncle Morong, you might be thinking too little. Anyway, Morong Yu's realm was right there. Even if another 100 years passed, she would still be so young and beautiful. She was not willing to find a partner, but she had the capital to not find one. Therefore, Morong Feng and Lin Yu were also anxious. Therefore, since they saw that Morong Yu liked this brat, Lin Yu would work hard to see if they could give birth to this baby. It was not important whether they got married or not. It was more important to have a baby first. Ha ha ha, alright, let's not talk about this person first. How's the evil god Fire Palace? Morong Feng's expression also became serious. Of course, he knew that Lin Xian came here partly because of Morong Yu and partly because of the evil god Fire Palace. Lin Xian nodded. Amen, I've been there. The evil god Fire Palace is in the Xiao family. There's a fake mountain in the backyard of the Xiao family. There's a passage under the fake mountain. After entering the passage, there's a door. However, to open this door, one needs a special secret technique. I haven't learned this secret technique yet, so I can't use it for the time being. After opening it, there's a secret realm inside. This secret realm is the evil god Fire Palace. I see. How strong is it? Lin Xian pondered for a moment and said, I'm not too sure either. However, what I'm certain of is that with 3 Heavenly Dao Realm experts as the foundation, the other Great Void Realm experts will naturally not be in the minority. In this secret realm, there's a place that leads to the demonic beast domain. They can directly enter the demonic beast domain to grind levels. At the same time, it will become a passage for them to escape. Morong Feng pondered for a moment. That's very normal. As the evil god Hall, they will definitely use all sorts of methods to leave a way out for themselves. Then did they say anything to you? Lin Xian said. They said that the main hall has taken a fancy to me and wants me to temper myself here. When the time comes, if I can, they will send me to the main hall. Morong Feng's eyes lit up. Yes, if you can, you must obtain the position of the main hall. However, don't be anxious. If 1 year isn't enough, then 2 years. If 2 years isn't enough, then 5 years. Morong Feng said. We have already searched for the location of the evil god hall for nearly 100 years. Haven't we still come up empty-handed? And this time, you are the closest we have come in history, so you must not be anxious. Don't fall short of success. Lin Xian nodded. I know. Also, you must pay attention to your own safety. Even if they think that you have taken a poison pill, they may not completely trust you. Those people are a group of very sneaky people. Yes, I have come into contact with them. They are indeed very sneaky. However, I am still quite useful to them right now. If what they said is true and the main hall has taken a fancy to me, then the small evil god Fire Hall won't be able to make any decisions. As long as I don't reveal any flaws and continue to increase my strength, they will eventually be able to see my potential. Lin Xian. That's right. What price did the Yixian group pay? Morong Feng asked. Lin Xian. It is only 10% of the shares. I will try my best to suppress the rest. In addition, they want to make Lin and City the next headquarters of the evil god Fire Hall. Naturally, there will be some impact on the industry. For now, I can accept it. At present, they cannot do anything that I cannot accept. Morong Feng nodded. Yes, the 3 major forces will reimburse the Yixian group for their losses. Lin Xian slightly muttered. Uncle Morong, I suggest that you don't tell this news to the Trial Union or the Bounty Hunter Guild. I don't trust them. Haha, don't worry. You already know about this matter. The Trial Union and the Bounty Hunter Guild also don't know about it. I only said that the temple will reimburse you for now. When this matter is completely resolved, the temple will look for the other 2 major forces to share. Morong Feng laughed. Okay. Then I will go find Xiao Yu. Lin Xian finished speaking and ran upstairs with a smile. Morong Feng. This brat. He helplessly shook his head. After chatting with me for a bit, he impatiently went to find my daughter? Damn, he really is a pervert. Xiao Yu, I am coming to find you to play games. Lin Xian grinned as he rubbed his hands together and arrived at the door of a room. Through the crack in the door, Lin Xian could smell a fragrant smell. Chapter 1454. Morong Yu was chatting with Lin Yu. What were they chatting about? Lin Xian, of course. Lin Yu was having a heart-to-heart talk with Morong Yu. She knew that her daughter was very tsundere. Although Morong Yu repeatedly emphasized that she wasn't being tsundere, as a mother, how could she not know? She clearly liked Lin Xian, but she didn't know how much she liked him. However, she didn't even let Lin Xian touch her. She had done it so many times, but still. Anyway, as a mother she knew. You two play the game well. Lin Yu heard the noise outside and opened the door with a smile. Auntie. You two play the game. I'm going to sleep. There's a place to shower in the room. Okay. Good night, Auntie. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. Lin Yu then walked away. Lin Xian closed the door and rubbed his hands together as he walked toward Morong Yu, who was sitting on the edge of the bed. Her room was really quite ordinary. There weren't any dolls or anything fun. Most of it was just books. However, this bed was definitely soft, and there were even dolls on it. Little Yu, I'm here. Lin Xian then sat beside Morong Yu and hugged her waist. You can sleep here, but you're not allowed to do anything else. Morong Yu said lightly. Okay. Lin Xian nodded obediently. Morong Yu agreed? No. It wasn't that simple. What did Auntie say to you? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Then he placed his hand on her leg and touched it. Morong Yu's hand pressed down on Lin Xian's hand. Nothing. I'm going to sleep. Morong Yu then crawled under the blanket and lay on her side with her back facing Lin Xian. She had already changed into her pajamas. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and glanced at the bed. There was actually a second blanket. She wanted him to cover himself with another blanket? You wish. Lin Xian then crawled under her blanket and hugged her from behind. Morong Yu's body trembled. Don't move. I didn't want to move at first, but I couldn't help it when I hugged you. Morong Yu was confused. And then she really couldn't stand Lin Xian's shamelessness. This person was equivalent to raping her. The next morning, Morong Yu was the first to open her eyes. She nestled in Lin Xian's arms. Her beautiful eyes glanced at the bloody teeth marks on Lin Xian's shoulder. That's right, she bit him last night. However, this bastard still wouldn't let her go even after being bitten and bleeding. In the end, she compromised. Bastard. Morong Yu gritted her teeth. Lin Xian opened his eyes and turned to look at her. Morong Yu quickly averted her gaze. Little Yu, it's daybreak. It's time to do it again. Morong Yu was confused. Get lost. She kicked Lin Xian out of the room, then wrapped herself in the blanket and turned around. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. I'm going to take a shower. Lin Xian walked into the bathroom. Morong Yu opened her beautiful eyes and sighed helplessly. Was that it? That should be it, right? After all, when Lin Xian slept with her, she actually didn't put up much resistance. She was also catered to Lin Xian later on. She knew it in her heart. She just didn't feel good. She wasn't in a relationship, and she didn't do anything. Then she was slept with by him so many times. She was a very traditional person. She yearned for love. Her concept of love was very beautiful and sweet. However, when she met this bastard Lin Xian, what kind of sweet feeling was there? He had sex with her the moment they met, and they had sex for half a year. Then, when she came back, she had sex with him several times for no reason. Let's not talk about sweet in love, right? At least we should go shopping alone, right? F***ck. Not good. Not good at all. After a while Lin Xian walked out naked. Morong Yu glanced at him and blushed. She quickly turned away. Can you keep your clothes on? She gritted her teeth. I'm not wearing anything. I just want to show you. Lin Xian laughed. Shameless. Go take a shower. Lin Xian then used his mind to clean himself and crawl under the blanket. Morong Yu quickly ran into the bathroom. Soon she finished bathing. She walked out smelling good. She glanced at Lin Xian, then opened the door and walked out without saying anything. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. He was still thinking about playing with her. Baby, You're taking a shower early in the morning. Downstairs, Lin Yu saw Morong drying her hair and walking down in her pajamas. He smiled and said. Morong Yu's face slightly reddened. As an old couple, they naturally knew why their baby daughter wanted to take a shower early in the morning. Morong Fong was not happy. F*ck. Thinking about how his beautiful baby daughter was taken by that pig Lin Xian, his heart ached as a father. It couldn't be helped. All fathers in the world were like this. They doted on their daughters, and their daughters were treasures. Where's Lin Xian? Lin Yu asked. I don't know. He's dead. Morong Yu sat on the sofa and drank tea. The two of them. What's there to be angry about between boyfriend and girlfriend? Can't that brat do it? Lin Yu smiled. Morong Yu. Mom. Okay. Mom won't say anything. Then I'll go take a look at that brat. Then Lin Yu walked upstairs. Morong Fong smiled and sat beside Morong Yu. He rubbed her hair and said, What's wrong? Daughter, do you like Lin Xian? Morong Yu shook her head. Not really. Then what's wrong? It's just that he's very infuriating. Morong Fong smiled and said, Although you feel that Lin Xian is very infuriating from Lin Xian's point of view with your personality, if you don't talk to him for a day, he'll be suffering, right? You have to understand each other. He's suffering? Last night he was secretly chatting with another girl. How can he be suffering? Morong Fong. Morong Yu wasn't angry about this. In fact, she knew what she should know. She just wasn't happy. However, she couldn't say where she was unhappy about it. Okay, it's rare that you're all free. It's rare that Lin Xian comes to Tiandu. You guys have fun these 2 days. Morong Fong smiled and said, That depends on whether he's willing. Morong Yu didn't know how much resentment she had towards Lin Xian. She guessed that it was quite a lot. Slap her, you didn't do anything but slap her. Of course she was unhappy. At least they were celebrating a festival. No matter what, they had to give her a gift, right? Okay, she didn't ask for too much. It didn't matter. Lin Xian and Lin Yu walked down. You're coming down. Let's eat breakfast. After breakfast, Lin Xian, you and Xiao Yu can go out and play. Morong Fong smiled and said, Okay, of course. Lin Xian said. Morong Yu heard this and felt a little better. Who wants to play with you? Morong Yu coldly snorted and walked towards the dining table. Morong Fong helplessly looked at Lin Xian. He couldn't blame Lin Xian. It was his daughter who was arrogant. This was also the main reason. Chapter 1455. Lin Xian helplessly glanced at Morong Fong. His gaze was very clear. Look at your daughter. Morong Fong shrugged his shoulders. What could he do? Women should be spoiled and spoiled. He would think about it when he got his hands on her. Actually, Lin Xian was already used to it. He had a lot of girls around him. What kind of girls did he not have? Tsundere? No matter how tsundere she was still obedient last night. Let's go eat. Morong Fong said. And Lin Xian nodded his head, and then sat at the table beside Morong Yu. Morong Yu sat there elegantly. Girls like her were very serious no matter what they did. To put it simply, you had never seen her cross her legs, and it was even more impossible to see her make any indecent movements. Normal people would get tired after sitting for a while. They would want to lie down or bend their waist slightly. However, girls like her could maintain a straight posture and read for an entire day without changing her posture. At most, she would change her direction. Little Yu, help me peel an egg. Lin Xian put his hand on Morong Yu's leg and said with a smile. Morong Yu did not say anything. She just silently peeled an egg for Lin Xian and placed it on the plate in front of Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. She was still obedient. However, if Morong Fong or Lin Yu were here, she would definitely not peel the egg. Morong Fong was sitting on the sofa and drinking tea while Lin Yu was busy in the kitchen. Where are we going to play later? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Anywhere. Morong Yu said indifferently, and then drank a mouthful of milk. Going to a room? Morong Yu. Go to hell. You said anywhere. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. Get lost. What are you talking about? Lin Yu walked out of the kitchen with a smile. We are talking about where we are going to play later, Lin Xian said with a smile. Isn't it good to go shopping or watch a movie? Who wants to go shopping with him? Morong Yu said indifferently. Lin Xian. F*ck. Sundara. No, I have to make her submit tonight. Auntie, I'll go shopping with her. I'll go find a few other friends. Lin Xian said. A few other friends? Morong Yu thought for a moment. Wasn't that Han Chuxue and Ling Ying? Crack, crack, crack. There were already cracks in the cup in her hand. That bastard Lin Xian. That's fine. You nodded. Little Yu, let's go shopping. Anything. Morong Yu said. Aya, why are you interfering with the child shopping? The two of us didn't go out for a proper stroll either. Lin Xian and Xiao Yu went out for a stroll. You and I went out for a stroll alone. Morong Feng said with a smile. That's true. We haven't gone shopping for a long time. You two go shopping. Let's go after dinner. After dinner, Morong Yu casually changed into a simple set of clothes and went out with Lin Xian. You go, Morong Yu said to Lin Xian. Ah. Lin Xian was stunned and looked at her. Aren't you going to find a friend? Go ahead. I'll find a library to read. Morong Yu said indifferently. Lin Xian looked at her beautiful face and rubbed his chin playfully as he looked at her. Morong Yu frowned. Why are you looking at me? Morong Yu asked. I feel that you're different from before. Morong Yu looked at Lin Xian. In what way? In many ways. For example, you're jealous now. And you've also learned how to say one thing and mean another. Morong Yu. Then it seems that you really like me. Lin Xian said with a smile. Morong Yu couldn't be bothered with him and walked straight ahead. AI. Lin Xian ran over with a smile and took the opportunity to grab her soft little hand. Morong Yu subconsciously struggled. However, Lin Xian held her hand tightly, and she didn't struggle anymore. I'm not familiar with Tiandu. Where is it fun? I don't know. Morong Yu also rarely went out to play, so she wasn't sure about this either. Then let's just walk around. Morong Yu's pretty face, exquisite temperament, and sky-blue hair and irises were rare to begin with. Needless to say, the amount of attention he attracted was unimaginable. As for Lin Xian, the passers-by looked at them and felt that they shouldn't be a couple. The woman was so outstanding and the man looked so ordinary. However, they were holding hands. What was there to be suspicious about? Morong Yu rarely went out, so even the heavens knew that the Morong family's master of the holy temple had a daughter, who was supposed to be very beautiful. However, not many people knew what Morong Yu looked like, and even fewer knew that she had blue eyes or something like that. However, it had to be said that she was indeed very special. On the other side, there were many people crowding around. Why? Ling Ying and Han Chuxue came out to shop. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue were very famous in Tiandu. They were the daughters of the 8 great families. Their appearances were extremely outstanding. Moreover, they often went out to play. In the past, Han Chuxue rarely went out, but compared to Morong Yu, she was much better. Moreover, they had a lot of pursuers. The main reason was that there were many pursuers. Coupled with their family background, it was impossible for no one to pay attention to them. I heard that Lin Xian came to Tiandu. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue each held a roasted sweet potato and chatted while eating. Many people followed them. Some tried to summon up the courage to strike up a conversation with them. Some just wanted to take 2 more photos because they knew that they weren't good enough for them. Is that so? Han Chuxue nodded slightly. It seems that they came because of the evil god Fire Palace. I guess they are still there. Ling Ying said. Hey boss, give me 2 Rujiamos. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from the front. The 2 girls looked at each other. Obviously, they knew what they were thinking from each other's eyes. Then they walked forward. Let me tell you, this kind of small roadside stalls selling things for a few yuan are the real delicacies of the world. Miss, you will follow me in the future. I will take you to try more of these delicious snacks. Lin Xian handed Morong Yu a Rujiamo and said. Anyway, many of Lin Xian's daughters liked to eat roadside stalls because of Lin Xian. Weren't Ling Ying and Han Chuxue the same? Morong Yu really didn't eat it because she wasn't greedy. She rarely went out. She only ate 3 meals a day. At most she would eat some snacks. Morongyu then opened her small mouth and took a bite. This is medium spicy. How about it? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Morongyu nodded. Not bad. Of course. Lin Xian smiled. Just as he opened his mouth to eat, he suddenly saw two figures standing in front of him. Chapter 1456. Lin Xian had announced in the group that he was coming to Tiandu, so Ling Ying and the rest knew about it. However, they still thought that Lin Xian was busy, so they did not chat with Lin Xian. Then F***ck. F***ck. This Lin Xian is shopping with Morongyu. Ling Ying was pissed. She was not pissed that he was shopping with other girls. After all, they knew a lot of things. F***ck. I thought you were busy, so I did not disturb you. Who knew that this bastard was shopping with other girls? Ah. Lin Xian was embarrassed. Morongyu was eating her rujiamo. When she saw Ling Ying and the rest, she walked over. You are shopping too? Morongyu asked. Yes, let's go together. Ling Ying said with a smile. Okay. Then they turned around and walked away. Lin Xian was speechless. Wow. No way. God, is this how you treat me? Hey, wait for me. Lin Xian quickly chased after them. Yi Fifan walked out from the dark with his brows furrowed. He only found out about Lin Xian's existence yesterday, so he tried to investigate him. He discovered that not only did Lin Xian seem to have a good relationship with Morongyu, but he also had a lot of pretty girls around him. They all seemed to be on good terms, including the two he had just met, Ling Ying and Han Chuxue from Tiandu. However, he wasn't sure if Lin Xian was just friends with the other girls, or if they had some other kind of relationship. As a man, he felt that it was not that simple. Let me get hold of your weakness. I don't believe that Morongyu will not leave you. I don't believe that Uncle Morong and the rest will agree to it. Yi Fifan sneered and then said to the headset, Continue the investigation. Morongyu is a woman that he must obtain. Last night, this Lin Xian did not leave the Morong family, but what does it matter? How could they sleep together? Could they still be boyfriend and girlfriend? If they were boyfriend and girlfriend, Morong Feng would have already told him that Morongyu already had a boyfriend, so they weren't. As for the fact that they were out shopping, he was indeed envious and jealous. However, hadn't Morongyu already left? Didn't that Lin Xian also chase after him like a dog? Hey. Lin Xian chased after him. What are you doing? You're not going back? Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Where am I going? Lin Xian smiled awkwardly. Lin and City. Hurry up and leave. Ling Ying waved his hand. Little Ying, don't be so heartless. Little Chuxue, talk to her. Han Chuxue shook her head. I can't win against her. Lin Xian. Lin Xian, after you finished your business, you went shopping with other girls, right? You didn't tell us, right? Scumbag. Morongyu muttered in her heart. You deserve it. Little Yu and I were planning to go shopping with you and have fun together. Lin Xian smiled. Teach. Really, we bought a rujiamo on the way. We were going to go to your place. Really? I was thinking of going to see Uncle and Auntie. I've already prepared a gift. Lin Xian then took out the face-retaining pill. What's this? Ling Ying glanced at it. Face-retaining pill. You can ask little Yu. She saw the effect of the face-retaining pill with her own eyes. I'm going to give it to the two aunties, Lin Xian said. Morongyu. This Lin Xian's ability to adapt to situations was really strong. She didn't know if Lin Xian was going to give them the face-retaining pill, but at least not today. At least, she knew that Lin Xian was going to play with her for the whole day. Scumbag. Bah. She saw through him. He was a scumbag. Lin Xian felt like he was in a difficult position. Face-retaining pill? Ling Ying glanced at it. Is it really useful? She asked Morongyu. Morongyu nodded. Yes, it's very useful. Thank you. I'll give it to my mom when the time comes, Ling Ying said. As for why she didn't let Lin Xian give it to her personally, Ling Ying felt that Lin Xian didn't plan to go to her house anyway, so she might as well not let him go. She didn't want to waste his precious time to pick up girls. Then I won't go? Lin Xian asked. Up to you. Ling Ying said. Since I'm here today, I definitely have to go and see Uncle and Auntie. You can give them the gift. Then what gift are you going to give my dad and Uncle Han? Ling Ying asked. If the two aunties take this pill, wouldn't it be the best gift for the two uncles? Lin Xian said with a smile. They were stunned for a moment. It seemed to make a lot of sense. Then let's go and play together. An amusement park just opened there. I haven't played in a long time. Han Chushua's beautiful eyes looked at Lin Xian and asked, Are you going? Of course, risking my life to accompany the beauty. Risking your life? Do you mean accompanying us is torturous for you? Ling Ying rolled his eyes. No, let's go. Lin Xian then followed with a smile. He didn't dare to hug them. Why? There were people around. Although they were all Lin Xian's women, the world didn't know. If the two daughters of the two big families in Tiandu had the same boyfriend, Lin Xian would be fine, but they might be in a lot of controversy. Although Lin Xian knew that they didn't care, Lin Xian still wouldn't do it if it was unfair to them. After playing for a day, the sky soon turned dark. They went to have dinner together, and then prepared to go back. Why don't you go back? Lin Xian said. Ha! They looked at Lin Xian in confusion. Let's get a room and play cards, isn't it better? I'll accompany you to your house tomorrow morning, okay? Lin Xian said. Morong Yu didn't hesitate. She had a lot of fun today. She rarely played like this. She just nodded. And then Ling Ying pulled her little hand. Open your sister's room. Go to hell. Morong Yu. What's wrong with getting a room and playing cards together? Why did Ling Ying have such a big reaction? If Morong Yu were to find out that this was how he had brought them to Lin Xian to drink and had sex with the two of them, she would have probably given him a kick. Cough, 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 Lin Xian coughed. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. Wow. How could there be such a scumbag? Did he want to have sex with the three of them at once? Wow. F***CK. We'll go back first. Han Chushua said. Bye-bye, I'll be a guest at your house tomorrow. Lin Xian waved his hand. F***CK off. Scumbag. Ling Ying gritted his teeth, and then walked away with Han Chushua. Why did she have such a big reaction? Morong Yu asked Lin Xian in confusion. I don't know, maybe she lost a lot of money to me in the past, so she has a grudge against me? Lin Xian said. That shouldn't be, it should be something else. Hey, let's go to your house and sleep tonight. Lin Xian said with a smile. Chapter 1457. That night, Lin Xian gave Morong Yu a good spanking. This girl resisted fiercely at first, because she suddenly understood something. F***CK. This Lin Xian is a scum. However, he couldn't stand Lin Xian's shamelessness. This person didn't even realize his mistake when he made a mistake. 1 second he lowered his head and said, Baby, I was wrong. The next second, he pounced on you and pressed you under his body. Morong Feng and Lin Yu were very happy. At least it meant that their baby daughter recognized this Lin Xian. They should be boyfriend and girlfriend. And very good. Little did they know, they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend yet. Early the next morning, Lin Xian yawned and walked down. Let's go. Lin Yu smiled and greeted him. Good morning, Auntie. Xiao Yu, that girl hasn't woken up yet? Lin Yu asked. And she's in a deep sleep. Lin Xian nodded. In the future, treat Xiao Yu well. This girl is cold on the outside but warm on the inside. In fact, she's very weak inside. Since she has chosen to be with you, then no matter what, as long as you don't completely break her heart, she will definitely be with you forever. Lin Yu patted Lin Xian's shoulder and said, Auntie, don't worry, I won't break her heart. Good, remember what you said. Auntie, don't worry. Morong Yu was still sleeping because she was tormented by Lin Xian last night. Today, Lin Xian went to the Ling and Han family as a guest. After all, it was rare for him to come to Tiandu, so it was natural for him to be a guest. Young master, that Lin Xian went to the Ling and Han family. Yi Fifan received this news. With Morong Yu? Yi Fifan asked. No, it's just that Lin Xian alone. Now that Lin Xian is at the Han family and young master, I took a photo of a big news. Yi Fifan took a puff of his cigarette and asked, What? Young master, I took a photo of that Lin Xian hugging Ling Ying. Pat the cigarette in Yi Fifan's hand fell. What? Then he saw the photo sent to him by his little brother. It couldn't be clearer. That hand was not only hugging her, it was almost on her butt. In the beginning, Yi Fifan had his suspicions. After all, Lin Xian seemed to have a good relationship with them. However, he only thought that they were friends. When Lin Xian visited their house as a guest, he felt that something was amiss. Then he saw this photo. How should he say it? It could only say he had mixed feelings. This Lin Xian was not that handsome. Why did this kind of girl like him? Putting Morongyu aside, he didn't think that Lin Xian and Morongyu were boyfriend and girlfriend. At most, they were a little better, but this Ling Ying was not bad at all. Anyway, he couldn't get her. Why did this Lin Xian so sour? F***CKU. Bah. Yi Fifan spat. But now there was no problem. Regardless of whether they were boyfriend and girlfriend, Lin Xian was definitely interested in Morongyu. This was without a doubt. Morongyu's parents also seemed to be interested in Lin Xian. After all, this Lin Xian was the champion of the Tianwu competition, and at the same time he had the Art Xian group. So if he gave this photo to them, then they would definitely not agree with Lin Xian and Morongyu, right? They should be supporting him now, right? Tonight, I'll go to Morongyu's house again. Yi Fifan muttered. As for Lin Xian, he was originally thinking about whether to sleep at Ling Ying's or Han Chushue's tonight. He hadn't cried with them for a long time, but they seemed to have discussed it. Ling Ying and Han Chushue didn't give it to him either. Lin Xian felt wronged. Little Chushue didn't give it to him either, he felt wronged. In the end, Lin Xian could only go to Morongyu's house. Why are you here again? At the entrance of Morongyu's house, Morongyu looked at Lin Xian, who was smiling and waving at her. Her whole body was aching. Didn't he say that he would be at Ling Ying's or Han Chushue's house tonight? Good thing. She could rest now. At first, she didn't think it was a big deal, but after being tormented by Lin Xian for 2 nights, she really wanted to rest. And then, this B**** came again. He even waved at her with a harmless smile. What's wrong? Am I not welcome? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Not welcome. Why? I'm so handsome. Not handsome. Morongyu said coldly and mercilessly. You called me husband very happily last night. Morongyu. Bastard. Shut up. She gritted her teeth and stared at Lin Xian. He, I'm coming in. Lin Xian then teleported into Morongyu's house. There's a guest? Lin Xian glanced at the car parked in the manor. Yi Fifan. Why is that B** here again? Lin Xian touched his forehead. Why are you here again? Morongyu asked. I'm here to have sex with you. Morongyu. You can go to the Ling's or Han's house. No. Both of them together can't be compared to you. Lin Xian grinned and said. I'll tell them exactly what you said. Lin Sanjiu said. Morongyu said indifferently, and then walked into the house. Hey, wait for me. Is that Yi Fifan here to pursue you again? Lin Xian asked. I don't know. Then I'll make him suffer. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up slightly. Fifan, it's rare for you to have so much free time recently. Morongfeng said with a smile. Yes, it's rare for me to have some free time recently, so I want to take some time to accompany Xiaoyu. Yi Fifan said with a smile. Xiaoyu is very boring. Whether she has time or not, it's better for her to stay at home and read a book. Morongfeng said with a smile. Ha, Uncle Morong is right. At this time, Lin Xian followed Morongyu into the house. Yi Fifan took a glance and frowned. This person actually dares to come again? That's interesting. I'll expose this person in front of him, in front of Morongyu, and in front of Morongfeng. Young Master Lin, you're here again. Yi Fifan said with a smile. Yes, I miss Auntie's cooking. I found that after eating here, I feel that everything I eat is tasteless. Auntie's cooking is the best. Lin Xian grinned at Lin Yu. Ha, okay, I'll cook for you. Lin Yu was pleased to hear Lin Xian's words. Morongyu secretly shook her head. Bootlicker. Why can't my mother feel it? No, she must have felt it, but she still enjoyed it. Morongyu couldn't understand. Ha. What have you been doing these 2 days, young Master Lin? Yi Fifan asked Lin Xian with a smile. Chapter 1458. Lin Xian leaned on the sofa and put his arm around Morongyu's waist. Morongyu. Yi Fifan. Yi Fifan narrowed his eyes. No way. It can't be true, right? Morongyu was not used to being intimate with a boy in front of her father. I'm going to help cook. Morongyu got up and walked into the kitchen. Lin Xian said with a smile. Nothing, I just played in Tiandu for 2 days. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. I just happened to see young Master Lin when I was playing in Tiandu. Lin Xian nodded. And then? Yi Fifan said with a smile. Then, I found young Master Lin playing with other girls. Really? Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. That's normal. No, it's not normal. Now I just want to ask. What's the relationship between young Master Lin and Xiaoyu? Yi Fifan said. You can't tell? Lin Xian smiled jokingly. Of course I can tell. Yi Fifan then looked at Morongfeng. He took out his phone and handed it to Morongfeng. He then said, Uncle Morong, this is what I saw at that time. I think it's unfair to Xiaoyu, so I want to show it to you. Morongfeng looked at the photo on the phone. How should he put it? Motherf asterisk Ker. It's true this Lin Xian and Linging TSK. But he also knew and told Lin Xian that they didn't care, as long as Morongyu didn't care. With this Lin Xian's ability and potential, he would definitely stand at the top of this continent in the future. He would definitely be qualified to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. Moreover, Linging and the others were also very outstanding girls. They all took a fancy to Lin Xian, which was enough to prove that this Lin Xian was outstanding enough in all aspects to obtain the favor of those outstanding girls. Morongfeng handed the phone to Yi Fifan and nodded. Okay, I got it. Lin Xian didn't need to read it to know what it was about. Unfortunately, he didn't panic. Little you. Morongfeng shouted. Morongyu wiped her hands and walked over. Dad, what's wrong? What do you think we should do? Morongfeng tapped on the phone on the table. Yi Fifan sneered in his heart. With Morongyu's arrogance, she would never allow this to happen. Morongyu glanced at it. Then, her beautiful eyes looked towards Lin Xian. Emph. She snorted and walked into the kitchen. Yi Fifan. Emph. That's it. That's it. Why? Yi Fifan was completely confused. Lin Xian, little you is angry. Why aren't you comforting her? Morongfeng said to Lin Xian. Yes. I'll go and comfort little you. Lin Xian then ran into the kitchen. Yi Fifan. That's it. Ha. That's it. How could this be? Why did Morongfeng look so calm? Why did Morongyu snort? He was dumbfounded. This. Uncle Morong, this Lin Xian is. Yi Fifan wanted to say something. Morongfeng lit a cigarette and started smoking. Then he indifferently said, I know what you want to say. However, in my eyes, children's matters are their own matters. No matter what that Lin Xian does, if Xiaoyu doesn't have any objections, then we as adults won't have any objections. This is because Xiaoyu definitely has the ability to distinguish right from wrong. Yi Fifan? But why doesn't Morongyu have any opinions? Yi Fifan didn't understand. He was dumbfounded. Doesn't she have an opinion? Isn't she angry? Morongfeng said. Yi Fifan. Yes, she did seem angry. But now it wasn't a question of whether she was angry or not, right? According to his understanding of Morongyu, there were only 2 possibilities. Either she coldly told Lin Xian to get lost and didn't want to say another word, or she directly kicked Lin Xian out. This was Morongyu. It can't be? He was dumbfounded. Yi Fifan glanced at the kitchen and frowned. Uncle Morong, they are really, Morongfeng said. I don't care and I won't ask because I believe little you can distinguish. As for whether they are a couple or not, you should be able to tell, right? Yi Fifan clenched his teeth. Why? He couldn't understand. Even if Lin Xian and Morongyu were a couple, why did she see the photo and F***ck? Fifan understands. Then, Fifan will leave first. Yi Fifan stood up. Don't you want to eat together? Morongfeng asked. No, I still have things to do. Then, I will leave first. Then Yi Fifan clenched his teeth and walked out. In the kitchen, Lin Xian was skillfully cooking. Little Xian, you can cook? Lin Yu was surprised to see Lin Xian's skillful appearance. He was so skillful that he definitely didn't learn it on the spot. Although it was a small matter, it was a special bonus in the eyes of the elders. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Yes, I used to live with my sister and could only cook by myself. I also learned a little from her. Then Lin Xian took out a plate of braised prawns. Auntie, try it. Lin Yu was really curious about Lin Xian's cooking. Then she tasted it and her beautiful eyes couldn't help but brighten. Morong Yu silently pinched a prawn. Because she knew about Lin Xian's cooking, she also liked to eat Lin Xian's dishes. Little Xian, your cooking is so good? Lin Yu showed a surprised expression. Hee hee. Lin Xian smiled and scratched his head. It's okay. Anyway, I used delicious food to win your daughter over. Morong Yu's action of eating the prawns paused. Lin Yu glanced at it. I can see that. Lin Yu smiled and said. In fact, Lin Xian didn't use delicious food to win Morong Yu's heart. It was just that delicious food made their relationship go further, giving Lin Xian many excuses to be with Morong Yu. The main reason was the God domain. Auntie, you go and rest. I will cook for you. Lin Xian smiled and said. I will help you. There's no need for that. Little Yu, you will be fine, Lin Xian said with a smile. Okay, don't mess around. Lin Yu patted Morong Yu's shoulder and walked out. Little Yu, that humph of yours is really nice. Lin Xian then grinned at Morong Yu. Go to hell. Morong Yu gnashed her teeth and said. Hee hee, I am going to show my prowess tonight. Lin Xian smirked. In your dreams. Either go to someone else's place or don't come to my room tonight. You can't enter my room. Morong Yu swore. He definitely couldn't enter. Of course, Lin Xian still sneaked into Morong Yu's room. No matter how she locked the door, Lin Xian had the space attribute. She couldn't do anything. Moreover, Lin Xian's realm was higher than hers. Chapter 1459. The next morning, Lin Xian and an unhappy Morong Yu went downstairs. Little Xian, the time for the God's awakening door has come out. Morong Feng said while sitting on the sofa. When? They asked. 5 days later. So fast. Morong Feng nodded. Although the God's awakening door is under the jurisdiction of the Holy Temple, the one who is truly in charge is the Radiant Association. The time is also set by the Radiant Association. If there is anything else you need to do, then hurry up and finish it within these 5 days. Going to the God's awakening door will take 3 months. I don't know if the flow of time inside the God's awakening door is different from here, but there will always be a way for you to know the time. Lin Xian nodded. I understand. After 3 months, little Shir should be able to walk by then. Yes, because Chu He died, the 11th place Duan Ling Xiao entered the God's awakening door. I don't know what will happen inside the God's awakening door, but it's very easy for something to happen. After going in, no matter what, you must place your safety as the most important thing. You must not take any risks. Lin Xian and Morong Yu nodded. Lin Xian then asked, Uncle Morong, is the Radiant Association the strongest existence in the human race? Morong Feng shook his head. Not really, but in a sense, you can say that the Radiant Association is a power that has been passed down for a very long time. As of now, according to what I know, there shouldn't be many people left in the Radiant Association. At most, there shouldn't be more than 10 people left. However, the amount of resources they control is something that no one can compare to. Morong Feng paused for a moment before continuing. They possess the richest knowledge of the human race in the world. They know what's in which place and what's in which place. For example, if you want the 9-colored spirit lotus, they might not have it. However, they can tell you where it is, or where it has appeared before. In other words, they have experience. Morong Feng nodded his head. That's right, experience. According to what I know, the members of the Radiance Association are the ones with the longest lifespans in the human race. Of course, they could also be the strongest in the human race. They're definitely in the Heavenly Tao realm, and might even be at the high levels of the Heavenly Tao realm. Once you reach the Heavenly Tao realm, the difference of 1 star might be the difference between the Great Void realm and the Heavenly Tao realm. One star in the heavenly Tao realm might be akin to a brand new realm. To raise one star is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. When the time comes, all of you will definitely be in the same situation. Lin Xian muttered to himself. The Radiance Association has the most profound generation. That's right, but they're also doing everything they can for the development of the human race, even though they're still a mysterious organization in my eyes. In the eyes of the world, the three major forces were humanity's everything. Lin Xian had once thought so as well. Lin Xian had once thought that the three major forces were the pinnacle of humanity. Later on, Lin Xian found out that behind the three major forces was the Radiant Association. Then, Uncle Morong, are there any other forces in this world? I'm talking about very strong forces, forces that no one has ever heard of under normal circumstances. Morong Feng nodded his head. Of course there are. In the eyes of the world, the three major forces are the strongest. However, this world isn't that simple. For example, although I'm the temple master, it's only a title. Do you really think that I can mobilize the temple's army with a single order? That's what I thought at the beginning. Simple logic. I'm the temple master, but in the entire temple, there are no less than 10 people who have the same authority as me. The same goes for the Trial Union and the Bounty Hunter Guild. In this world, no one is allowed to monopolize power. The temple was conquered by the Morong family and many other families. Naturally, it doesn't belong to the Morong family. It's just that it's in the hands of the Morong family for the past few generations. Morong Feng then said, there are many branch forces among the three major forces. For example, that Yi Fifan you saw yesterday. Yi Fifan's father is called Yi Haitao. He belongs to the Anti-Demon League. This Anti-Demon League may seem like a small organization, but it also belongs to the continent. A few core members of the Anti-Demon League have the authority to mobilize the members of the temple, the Trial Union, and the Bounty Hunter Guild. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. Besides the Anti-Demon League, there are several other forces like this. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. For example, the one with the greatest authority in this continent is Uncle Morong. Who's your immediate superior? It's the Radiant Association. Lin Xian roughly understood what was going on. Therefore, this continent wasn't that complicated. Simply put, the three major forces that everyone thought had the highest authority were actually not so. The three major forces also had their own superior, the Radiant Association. After the Radiant Association, there might not be any more. Therefore, the Radiant Association was really the boss of this continent. Uncle Morong, are you sure that the Radiant Association only has a few people? Lin Xian suddenly asked. This? Morong Feng pondered for a moment. I know what you want to say. Since the Radiant Association is our immediate superior, they must be able to command all the other forces. Therefore, they might not be as simple as a few people. After returning from the God's Awakening Door, you might know. According to the previous situation, everyone who returns from the God's Awakening Door has to make a trip to the Radiant Association. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. So that's how it is. All right. Morong Feng smiled and patted Lin Xian's shoulder. There are still 5 days. It's not that much time. You'll be away for 3 months. If there's anything you need to do, hurry up and do it. After saying that, Morong Feng walked away. Are you going back to Lin City? Morong Yu asked. Of course. Actually, Lin Xian didn't have much to do. When he returned, he would accompany little Shishir, Xiao Linglong, and Xian and the rest. After all, he would be away for 3 months. 3 months wasn't a long time, but it wasn't short either. By the time he returned, Lu Yufan and the others should have already entered the Martial God Academy. They should have become existences who could hold their own. As for the other things, Lin Xian wanted to see Little Fairy before going there. However, he didn't think it would be possible. He swore that when he returned, he would definitely find her. Other than that, there wasn't much to do. It was the matter of the Art Pavilion group. And then you can go back. Morong Yu said. Give me a kiss. Lin Xian smiled and moved his face closer. Then Morong Yu rolled her eyes. I'm going to work. I'll leave when I need to. She heartlessly left these words and left. Lin Xian. Chapter 1460. Lin Xian directly returned to Lin City. The first thing Lin Xian did after returning to Lin City was to go to the Art Pavilion Group. What? You're giving us your shares? Mo Rongqing and Luo Chenxi, the two beautiful ladies, sat there and looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Lin Xian nodded. I'll transfer my shares to you first. Why? Aren't you going to the God's Awakening door? Do you know that you're going to die in there, so you're giving us your shares in advance? Mo Rongqing looked at Lin Xian and asked. Lin Xian. I say, elder sister, what are you thinking about, damn it? You're so eager for me to die. Even if I'm going to do that, I'll have to give my shares to more people. How can I just give them to the two of you? Lin Xian did not know whether to laugh or cry. Then why are you giving us your shares out of the blue? Luo Chenxi was wearing a black skin-tight skirt. She was simply too tempting. Wow. He really wanted her to hold onto the sink, stick out her butt, and then… Anyway, I have my reasons. You don't have to worry or think too much. Just give it to me when I come back. Lin Xian said. Why did Lin Xian give them his shares? Because they held less than 10% of the shares in their hands, while Evil God Fire Palace held 10% of the shares. If he did not give them his shares, Evil God Fire Palace would have more power than the two ladies if they wanted to do anything. Therefore, Lin Xian wanted to give them his shares temporarily, so that they could have the absolute right to speak. This way he would not have to worry about Evil God Fire Palace playing any tricks when he went to the God's Awakening door. Okay. The two ladies nodded. Then are you busy? Lin Xian looked at Mo Rongqing. I'm busy. Why? Then go do it. Lin Xian smiled. Mo Rongqing. She seemed to understand something. Stinky hooligan. Shameless. Shameless scum. Then I'll go. Mo Rongqing then walked away. I'm working too, Luo Chenxi said. Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and reached out his hand towards her butt. Luo Chenxi. There's no rush. Pa. Lin Xian then clapped. You. Luo Chenxi gritted her teeth. Who asked you to dress so sexy today? I like this kind of thing. Pervert. Luo Chenxi gritted her teeth. Quick pout. Lin Xian walked out of Luo Chenxi's office happily. Hiss. How could it not be exciting? Luo Chenxi also knew that Lin Xian would be away for 3 months. Although she was very unhappy with Lin Xian, she was also quite reluctant to part with him. Let's go see little Shir. Lin Xian then happily went over to where Linglong Shui and the others were. Big brother. Dragoni obediently flew to Lin Xian's shoulder and shook her little legs. Dragoni seems to have grown up again. Lin Xian glanced at her. Yes, she has grown up, Linglong Shui said. Lin Xian then sat on the sofa. Hot pot again. I say, you guys are really… Every time I come here, you guys eat hot pot. Look at how hungry little Shir and little Tian are. Lin Xian laughed. It's delicious and simple, Linglong Yue said after eating a mouthful of beef. That's right, it was indeed simple. They just needed to prepare some ingredients and cook the hot pot base. However, they also had time. The simplicity was not the main reason. The main reason was that they liked to eat. They liked the feeling of eating meat here. Little Shir, Daddy will hug you. Lin Xian smiled and reached out to little Shir. Little Shir was more obedient now. She then reached out to Lin Xian. Lin Xian then smiled and hugged her. Come, little Tianny, Daddy will hug you. Lin Xian then held the babies in each hand and let them sit on his lap. So obedient. Lin Xian gave them a big kiss. When will we go to the God's Awakening door? Yurenbing asked. 5 days later. You'll be back in 3 months. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, little Shir should be able to jog after we come back. Lin Xian rubbed the little girl's head. Little Tianny should be about the same as little Shir at that time. Bing Lingyue said with a smile. Don't bully little Tianny anymore, do you hear me? Lin Xian smiled at little Shir. Imph. Little Shir snorted proudly. I say, Xiao Linglong. Linglong Shui looked at Lin Xian. This little girl needs to be taught a lesson. If not, she will probably be like this little girl. Lin Xian looked at Linglong Yue. Linglong Yue's eating paused. Hey, what do you mean? Linglong Yue was very unhappy when she heard this. What do you think? Sister, I really want to hit him. Ling Longyue was furious. Ling Longshui shook her head helplessly. It's been so long, you still haven't gotten used to it? Bing Lingyue smiled. Emph. Ling Longyue wrinkled her nose unhappily. When I leave, I don't know if my sister will come back. If you have the chance, please help me check. All of them nodded their heads. Don't worry. You have to be careful in the God's Awakening Door. As one of the most mysterious places in the continent, there are too many secrets and dangers there. Don't let your emotions affect your decisions. Ling Longshui said. Don't you know him? Letting his emotions affect his decisions is a small matter. I'm afraid that one day, he might die in the belly of another woman. Yirenbing sneered. Hey, don't be like this. Huang Shi has a better understanding of the God's Awakening Door. Although she doesn't know what kind of place it is, she said that no matter how talented you are, it might be the same. It's hard to say, but you have to be careful. Lin Xian nodded. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Moreover, the 10 people who go in are basically my men. There's nothing to be afraid of. The danger doesn't lie in the people who go in. It's the danger of the place itself, Ling Longshui said. There are so many beautiful girls in my world. I don't want to die. Anyone can die, but I have to survive. Lin Xian smiled and placed his hand on Yirenbing's leg. Then you're planning to have sex with all the girls in Linen City? Yirenbing asked with a smile. Tonight, I'll have sex with the 3 of you. Together. Lin Xian. Ha ha ha. Yirenbing laughed out loud. Wah wah wah. Brother is going to bump into sister again. Xiao Longair clapped her hands excitedly. Shameless scum. Ling Longyue gritted her teeth. If you say another word, I'll strip you naked in front of your sister. Lin Xian glared at Ling Longyue. Ling Longyue glared back at Lin Xian. Looks like I was right. This person is not only interested in you, but also your sister. Yirenbing smiled and looked at Ling Longshui. Ling Longshui looked at Lin Xian. Actually, she knew that Ling Longyue was very beautiful. She would definitely be super beautiful when she grew older. She was also prepared for this. To the devil race, this was not unacceptable. Lin Xian looked at Ling Longshui with a smile, then looked at Bing Lingyue. Then can we go together? The 2 girls. Scram. Cough cough cough. The next morning, Lin Xian walked out of Ling Longshui's room happily and stretched. Of course, they didn't go together in the end. However, they were all very fond of Lin Xian. If Lin Xian was a little more forceful, they might have agreed. However, Lin Xian didn't care. He could think about it later. 4 days passed just like that. Lin Xian accompanied everyone in Linen City. Lan Xingxing and the others were also in Linen City. 4 days was too short. In these 4 days, Lin Xian really didn't do anything else. He just played with them, cooked for them, played games all night, and went to the beast territory to adventure. For some reason, Lin Xian couldn't bear to leave. Although he knew that he would only be away for 3 months. 3 months was quite a long time. All right. I'm going to Tiandu. You don't have to send me off. Lin Xian looked at the girls in front of him. Feng Ling and Wu Yuhan were beside him. Then you must be careful. When you come back, we will become experts too. Lu Yufan looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled. I'm looking forward to you all becoming experts. Didn't you say that you wanted to team up and beat me up? Then work hard. I'll be fine. Yes. Can you still chat with us when you go there? Lan Xingxing blinked her big eyes and asked. Are you stupid? That's another secret realm. How can there be a signal? She pursed her lips. All right, don't be sad. Lin Xian is going there to improve his strength. We should be happy for him. As for us, work hard to improve ourselves. Don't let others look down on us. Zichiyue smiled and rubbed Miao Xiaomiao and the others' heads. Yes. Lin Xian nodded. Then I'm leaving. Whoosh. In the next moment, Lin Xian and the others disappeared from the spot. On the other side were Luo Chenxi, Bai Xianxian, Leng Wuxin and Murong Qing. On the other side were Ling Longshui and the others. These 2 groups of girls were just watching Lin Xian leave secretly from afar. Let's go. Work hard and wait for him to come back in 3 months. Morongqing stretched her body. On the other side, Lin Xian soon arrived at Tiandu. He came to the designated meeting place. Little Xinyue, long time no see. Lin Xian smiled at Xiao Xinyue who was standing there. Xiao Xinyue nodded. Long time no see. Hey. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. Xiao Ningning, I miss you. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes. Don't think too much. I'm just here to send Xinyue off. I'm not thinking too much. Lin Xian smiled. Xiao Runing. F*CK. F*CK. They were in a great hall, and there were only 5 of them in the great hall of the Holy Sanctum. I heard that you've reached the virtuality stage? Xiao Runing asked. Yes, I've reached the virtuality stage. You two are trash. Lin Xian smiled. Tisk, Xiao Runing rolled her eyes. I don't know what's inside the God's Awakening door. No one knows either. Just be careful when you're there. You guys should take care of each other. Xiao Runing said. Do I need you to tell me that? Lin Xian rolled his eyes in return. F*CK. Xiao Runing was extremely unhappy. At this time, a few people walked in while chatting. Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, Wang Xintong, and Morongyu. They were originally from Tiandu. Wang Xintong was also staying in Tiandu during this period, so they came together. Miss Xiao, Xingyi. When they saw them, they hurried over to greet them. You've become prettier again. Xiao Runing hugged them and said with a smile. Miss Xiao is even prettier, Ling Ying said with a smile. Xiao Runing said. We'll be separated for 3 months. I can use this time to improve myself. Yes. They chatted for a while, then turned to look at Lin Xian. Then thumph. Ling Ying snorted. Lin Xian. Chapter 1462. What could Lin Xian do? It was not that these girls did not like him. It was just that each of them had their own grievances. That was indeed Lin Xian's problem. Hello. Feng Ling greeted them with a smile. Oh, it's Miss Feng. Come, let's chat. Ling Ying said with a smile. Sure. Then the group of girls left Lin Xian in the cold. Lin Xian. Is the harem in chaos? Xiao Runing smiled and walked to Lin Xian's side. No, it's all because of Feng Ling. Lin Xian shrugged. That's right, they seem to be getting along very well. They could get along very well. But when they saw Lin Xian with Feng Ling, they were unhappy. Aren't you guys enemies? How did you guys get together? Bastard Lin Xian. Stinking hooligan. Damn scum. A big pervert. Who asked you to be so perverted? Xiao Runing smiled. Just you wait. When I come back, I'll teach you a lesson. Lin Xian said fiercely. Sigh anyway, just be careful. Xiao Runing did not continue with this topic, but said got it. I'll be leaving first. See you in 3 months. Xiao Runing waved her hand. Everyone, I'll be leaving first. I think someone will be here soon. Miss Xiao, take care. Xiao Runing nodded and walked away. At this time, Zhuge Feng and Duan Lingxiao walked in. Young Master Lin. Zhuge Feng smiled and greeted Lin Xian. Good afternoon. Lin Xian smiled and waved his hand. The two of them sat there and chatted. Duan Lingxiao's gaze was on the other girls. So beautiful. Every one of them was so beautiful. Hello, long time no see. Duan Lingxiao smiled and walked over to greet them. Aren't you in 11th place? Wang Xintong blinked and asked in surprise. She didn't know what had happened. It's all the same. Duan Lingxiao was instantly rendered speechless by Wang Xintong's words. It was a little uncomfortable. Of the 10 people, 9 of them were Lin Xian's men. But so what? After all, he was going there to improve himself. He was already very satisfied to be able to enter the God's Awakening door. He also believed that the God's Awakening door wasn't a place where having more people was useful. Perhaps he would be able to soar. At this moment, Morong Feng walked in. Everyone, are you ready? They nodded. Then come with me. After that, Morong Feng brought the 10 of them to a transmission array, and everyone disappeared from their original spot. When they reappeared, they were on top of a very tall mountain peak. Where is this? They scanned their surroundings in surprise. This is the Radiant Association. This is the Radiant Association? Lin Xian froze for a moment. To be precise, this is the place where we communicate with the Radiant Association. Of course, it's only a place that I can come into contact with. In a moment, you will meet a senior from the Radiant Association. Perhaps you can ask him about some matters regarding the God's Awakening Door. Alright, I'll send you up to here. Just go to the highest point. The rest will be organized by that senior. Morong Fong glanced at them. Understood. And remember, you are the future of the human race. No matter how much you can improve, or whether you can improve, it's not important. Your own life is the most important thing. Do you hear me? They nodded. Alright, go up. Morong Fong glanced at his daughter, then watched them walk up the mountain. Young Master Duan, your luck is pretty good, Lin Xian said to Duan Lingxiao with a smile. Ha ha ha, yes, my luck is indeed pretty good. I don't know what to say about this matter. I'm the beneficiary, and I'm very grateful to young Master Lin. It's just that I'm quite sorry about young Master Chu's matter, Duan Lingxiao said with a smile. Sorry? No, it's fine if he's dead. What's there to be sorry about? Up to you. Duan Lingxiao laughed and quickened his pace. I didn't expect you to be so weak in such a short period of time. The gap between us is getting bigger and bigger, Zhuge Feng said with a smile. How can you use your realm to explain everything? Lin Xian said with a smile. Ha ha ha, let's not talk about it anymore. I wish you all the best in the God's Awakening Door. You too. They then arrived at the highest point. At the highest point, an old man stood there, as immovable as a mountain. Greetings, senior. They bowed respectfully. The quality of the people entering the God's Awakening Door this time is much higher than before. The old man opened his eyes and swept his gaze across them. Follow me. They followed the old man and walked forward. They arrived at a back garden. With a wave of his hand, a ray of light fell from the sky and landed on the ground. Then a door opened in the sky just like that. It was a very, very big door. Once you step in, you'll find the world of the God's Awakening Door. He then took out 10 tokens and passed them to them. These tokens will be useful. Now go in. We're going in just like that? Senior, don't you have any reminders? Lin Xian asked. Once you enter, you'll naturally know everything, the old man said indifferently. Alright. They cupped their fists and walked in together. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Xian appeared in a space-time tunnel similar to those in sci-fi movies. As soon as Lin Xian turned around, he frowned. That was because the people who came in with him were not by his side. He was the only one here. Since you're here, then come over. Suddenly, an old man's voice came from the front. Lin Xian frowned and walked over. At the end of the path, Lin Xian saw another spatial portal. It was black, and an old man was standing in front of it. Greetings, senior. Lin Xian quickly bowed. Let me have a look at your token. Lin Xian took out the token that the old man gave him outside. The old man nodded. He then said, after passing through this door, you'll find the world behind the God's Awakening Door. Once you're there, you'll need to find a way to determine your time. 3 months later, a door will open at the place where you'll land. This door will bring you back here, and your training in the God's Awakening Door will end. Remember, 3 months later, when you step in, it will open. The portal will only last for 30 minutes. If you don't arrive there within 30 minutes, you'll be destroyed by the laws. Lin Xian nodded. I understand. What's the world inside like? Lin Xian asked. You'll know when you get there. As for how to improve your strength and obtain opportunities, you'll understand everything after you enter. Lin Xian nodded. Thank you, senior. What about my friends? They'll land in a random corner. Whether you can meet them depends on fate. Lin Xian cupped his fists and stepped in. Chapter 1463. When Lin Xian opened his eyes, he saw a forest in front of him. This is the world inside the God's Awakening Door? Lin Xian revealed an astonished expression. Shua! In the next instant, a scene appeared in front of Lin Xian's eyes. Lin Xian furrowed his brows. This isn't the Adonis Systems page. Lin Xian was in disbelief. Could it be that he had awakened another system? System Missy, are you there? Ding. Big brother, I'm here. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Why do I have another system page? Damn. Lin Xian suddenly saw a watch-like thing on his wrist. Ding. Big brother host, I don't know. No need for you, Scram. System Missy. Lin Xian looked at the watch that had appeared on his wrist out of nowhere. Then he frowned. Hey, do you know how to speak? Lin Xian patted the watch on his wrist. This should be something he had obtained after entering the God's Awakening door. As for how and why he obtained it, Lin Xian did not know. Wait. Suddenly, Lin Xian realized something. Why did his strength and senses disappear? His realm was gone? What the F***ck? His realm was gone? He had become an ordinary person? Why was it like this? Could it be that in the God's Awakening door, no matter what realm a martial artist is in, they will become an ordinary person? No wonder the death rate in the God's Awakening door is extremely high. How can the death rate not be high if you become a piece of trash here? Lin Xian was dumbfounded. Then Lin Xian looked at the sky. It was late at night, he needed to know the time. System Missy, can you tell me the time in this world? Lin Xian said sweetly. Ding. The current time is 1:28 a.m. Lin Xian felt that this system was quite useful. Thanks. Lin Xian then looked at the page in front of him. Ding. What's the matter? Lin Xian. Suddenly, a second voice sounded in his mind. It was the voice of an icy young lady. F***ck. Lin Xian glanced at it. If he wasn't mistaken, this should be the watch on his hand. Who are you? Lin Xian asked. Ding. I am the guide of the Divine Awakening door. You can call me Lil Bing. So every one of them has one too. Ding. Yes. Lin Xian nodded. Then he basically understood. They might need the help of the system to do something in the God's Awakening door. This was because Lin Xian had already seen the contents of the page in front of him. I need to do a quest, right? Ding. Yes. What if I don't? Lin Xian asked. Ding. If you don't do it, 3 months later, there will be a law that will erase the host. If one of the quests is not completed, then it will also lead to the erasure of the law and the heavenly Tao. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. So this was the danger of the God's Awakening door? The dual threat from the environment and the system? Then what is the training that I have to undergo? Ing. The system's quest will be the host's training for these 3 months. Other than this, surviving here might also be a type of training. Also my cultivation. Ding. The cultivation of those who come here will be reset to 0 and become an ordinary person. They will also be unable to cultivate. Lin Xian. What the hell? Unable to cultivate? What the hell is this? Originally, Lin Xian thought that they might come to a desolate land filled with demon beasts. But now Lin Xian didn't think so. If one's cultivation was reset to 0 and unable to cultivate, then the chances of survival in a desolate land filled with demon beasts would be close to 0. It definitely wasn't that simple. Then how do I get the opportunity here? Without cultivation, I can't get it. Lin Xian asked in surprise. Ding. Opportunity can be exchanged. Host, please look at the exchange list. The interface in front of Lin Xian suddenly changed. Then Lin Xian looked at it. Damn. Law, domain, all attributes doubled, strength doubled, mental strength doubled, additional fire attribute unlocked, additional space attribute unlocked, etc. It seemed like a simple item to exchange, but he could actually unlock additional attributes. Of course, other than these, there were many other things. There was also the number of stars that could be raised. There was an exchange value behind each of them. Lin Xian roughly understood what was going on. This was the so-called opportunity. If you were powerful, you could exchange for other laws here, exchange for other attributes, and unlock new powers. For a martial artist, an additional law, an additional domain, an additional attribute, or even more than one, was simply too great of an improvement. But this shocked Lin Xian. Why? This was the system. This was actually the same as his Adonis system. There was actually a system here? Who gave them the system? Then who gave them the Adonis system? They actually relied on the system to increase their strength. That was really strange. Logically speaking, shouldn't one's strength be trained in an extremely dangerous place? So if I complete missions, I can obtain system points. System points can be used to exchange for rewards, right? Ding. Yes. Then how many missions do I need to complete before I can avoid being killed? Ding. The system will gradually unlock 10 missions. If the host can complete the mission within 3 months, the remaining time can continue to trigger missions and obtain additional system points to exchange for rewards. Lin Xian nodded. Understood. Then let's trigger the first mission. Ding. Congratulations to the host for triggering the mission. Earn 100 billion renminbi. Mission details. Earn 100 billion renminbi in a proper way. Mission reward. Awaken to mysterious heaven realm 1 star and obtain 100 million system points. Lin Xian. What the F***ck? Earn money? Brother. What was he going to do? No, Lin Xian originally thought that he would have to fight and kill. Now that he was being asked to earn money, this feeling was especially strange. He was a higher virtual stage, and the mission you triggered was to earn money? And, in this world that Lin Xian did not even know what kind of world it was, you wanted him to earn 100 billion in 3 months? Wait a minute. Lin Xian frowned. Earn money? That meant that this world was indeed not a barbaric one. It could even be a world where people lived? Otherwise, why would it earn money? People lived? Could it be another world like Sky Blue Planet and Earth? Filled with technology? When will the next mission be activated? Lin Xian asked. You can activate it now. After all, the first mission is a long-term one. Activate. Ding. Congratulations to the host for triggering the mission, shared boyfriend. Later, the host will obtain a website and become the founder of the website. Please choose 2 girls to serve the host and successfully help them out of trouble and make them fall in love with the host. Mission reward, plus 30 million system points. After 3 days, regardless of whether the mission is completed or not, the next mission can be activated. At the same time, the host can continue with the previous mission. Please purchase a mobile phone immediately and obtain a mobile phone number. Lin Xian. Chapter 1464. That's right. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. There were 2 dumbfounded things. First, it was this mission. Shared boyfriend? This mission was for him to pretend to be someone's boyfriend and make the girl fall in love with him? What the F***ck? Bro. This was the awakening door. He was here to F***king train himself. How did he trigger such a muddle-headed and inexplicable mission? Second, by a phone? In other words, the world behind the God's awakening door might really be a new continent, one that was similar to Sky Blue Planet and Earth. Lin Xian sensed that the spiritual energy in the air was very thin, which meant that this continent might be similar to Earth. What did that mean? Not everyone was cultivating. Perhaps it was the same as on Earth, where 99% of the people were just ordinary people. He did not know that cultivation really did exist in reality. It was just that there were too few people who cultivated. It meant that they could not come into contact with that world. Of course, there were also demonic beasts, but they were very rare. Basically, they could not be encountered. Those that were encountered were monsters that had been asleep for hundreds or thousands of years. Of course, there were also some scary things like ghosts and vengeful spirits. These were real. But because the era was different, in a world with such weak spiritual energy, it was destined that the cultivation of martial artists would not be high. Therefore, Lin Xian roughly understood why the cultivation of these strong martial artists would be reset to 0. Think about it, a higher virtual stage martial artist would be a god in a place like this. An absolute god. You could rule the world by yourself. For example, if a higher virtual stage martial artist from Sky Blue Planet appeared on Earth, then he could rule the world by himself. Therefore, although Lin Xian had not come into contact with it, he already had a rough idea of the situation in this world. Wait. System lady, will the others trigger the same mission as me? Ding, that's not it. 10 people will trigger completely different missions. However, the difficulty of the missions is the same. Lin Xian nodded. That's good. Otherwise, Lin Xian was really worried that the girls around him would trigger a shared girlfriend system. That would be F***king scary. Now go and buy a phone, right? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. F***ck. He had no money. He had to make money. However, before he started making money, he had to understand this world. In fact, it was very simple to understand this world. He just needed to have a phone to understand it. Then Lin Xian took a look. He didn't know where he was, so he could only walk forward aimlessly. He didn't know where Murong Yu and the others were. They should be as confused as he was. Soon Lin Xian saw a highway. This F***king world was similar to Sky Blue Planet and Earth. There were highways and cell phones. That was easy to accept. Since there's a highway, if I'm unlucky, I might be very far from the city. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. It's late at night now. In fact, it's quite easy to encounter cars on the highway. If we can just hail a random car, no matter which city we go to, as long as we can enter the city, everything will be fine. Lin Xian pondered for a moment, then walked to the side of the highway and walked forward. It was very dark, so dark that you couldn't imagine it. Lin Xian didn't have any cultivation, so his vision was just like an ordinary person's. However, Lin Xian thought for a moment. He had a F***king Adonis system. This was something that no one else had. It should be quite useful, right? Moreover, he had battle memories in his mind. Although his physique might be that of an ordinary person, he was definitely not ordinary. Because he didn't have any cultivation, Lin Xian couldn't activate his spiritual power. He only needed a little bit of cultivation to activate it. Unfortunately, he didn't have it. But fortunately, everyone was the same. Everyone was an expert. In such a place, without cultivation, they were quite powerful. Nothing would happen. On the contrary, it made Lin Xian feel more assured. At this moment, Mu Qingyao was driving a red sports car, speeding on the highway. I'm on my way now. I'll be back to Jiangnan City in about 2 hours. She had a Bluetooth earpiece in her ear, and stepped on the accelerator. I said I don't go on blind dates. I don't need one. That's it. I'm driving now. Then she turned off the Bluetooth earpiece. Suddenly, she saw a person standing in front of the high beams with his arms open, as if he was trying to stop a car. She was dumbfounded. Squeak! In the dark night, a sudden braking sound pierced through the sky. Lin Xian was startled. Damn it! So fast. The car was going at least 200 miles per hour. What could he do? He saw the high beams from afar. With the high beams and Lin Xian's current vision, he couldn't determine the speed and distance at all. Lin Xian didn't notice it until it was very close. Damn it. She was driving so fast. The car stopped about 3 meters in front of Lin Xian. Hiss! Mu Qingyao frowned and touched her forehead. The braking was very fast, but it caused her to hit her head. It wasn't serious, but she was very angry. She quickly drove the car to the temporary parking lot on the highway. Click! Mu Qingyao opened the door and got out. Are you crazy? She stared at Lin Xian in front of her angrily. Lin Xian looked at Mu Qingyao in front of him. Damn it! So beautiful. This was definitely the beauty of the Adonis system's mission. But it seemed that in another world, the Adonis system didn't trigger any mission. This woman had a noble and cold feeling. She was wearing a very formal white collar suit. It was black with a white shirt inside and a professional skirt. It wasn't too short and revealed a pair of straight and beautiful legs. She was definitely as beautiful as Ling Ying and the others. Her delicate facial features, cold and clear eyes, and cherry lips were especially perfectly inlaid on this face. What kind of feeling was this? It was the kind of feeling Linya had. Of course, it was the kind of feeling Linya had when she was in Yixian group, not the gentle feeling in front of Lin Xian. It was F***king magical. Mu Qingyao realized something at this moment. In the middle of the night on the highway in the wilderness, there was a man in front of her. If he had bad intentions, at this moment, she quietly put her hand behind her back. Yes, she had a fruit knife with her. She didn't mean anything else. It was just for self-defense. There was also pepper spray, but it was in the bag. Beauty, I'm sorry. I had no choice but to stop the car. Do me a favor. Lin Xian said helplessly. What? Mu Qingyao frowned. Where are you driving to? No matter where you are going, just go to a city with people. Can you give me a ride? Lin Xian looked at her awkwardly and said, Muqingya. She was confused, very confused. A man appeared on the most remote highway dozens of kilometers away from the nearest city in the middle of the night. How did he get here? Did he walk here? Who would believe that? Could it be that he came here in the middle of the night to kill someone and then abandon them? Chapter 1465. Muqingya secretly clenched her hand that was holding the fruit knife. Dangerous. Very dangerous. He was young, but he wanted her to give him a ride in the middle of nowhere? How could she dare to do that? But if she refused, would he get angry and kill her? No, before he killed her, he would definitely have sex with her. Damn it. No. Muqingya, you are a calm woman. You should know what to do when you encounter this kind of situation. You know. Think about the previous cases. You have to calm down. I'm going to Jiangnan City. Are you coming with me? Muqingya asked again. Jiangnan City? Lin Xian's eyes widened. Jiangnan City. Why? Lin Xian shook his head. Nothing. I'll go. Take me there. Get in. Muqingya tensed up and got into the driver's seat. Wow. A luxury car. A rich woman? Lin Xian sat in the front passenger seat and looked at the car. He was afraid that he couldn't get this car without 30 million yuan. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Muqingya broke out in a cold sweat. It was over. He knew that she was rich. Didn't that mean wait? If she acted like she had a lot of money, then a normal person would definitely want more. Then she would have a chance to live. Not bad. She's only worth a few 100 billion yuan. Virum. The sports car started and sped forward. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. Wow. Did he just casually meet a rich woman of this level? She was beautiful with long legs and a kind heart. And she was freaking rich. Then can you lend me some money? Lin Xian asked. Muqingya frowned. Lend? No. This person was trying to eliminate her psychological defense against him. How much? Muqingya asked as she drove. She used her fingerprint to unlock her phone. She was smart enough to turn on the lights in the car for fear that Lin Xian would see the light on her phone. 10,000 yuan. Is that okay? Lin Xian asked. 10,000 yuan? She was surprised. Shouldn't he be blackmailing her for hundreds of millions? I just want to buy a phone and have a meal. After all, Lin Xian had no realm here. He still needed to eat. Right now, he was very hungry. He hadn't felt this way for a long time. All right. Muqingya nodded and dialed the number out of the corner of her eye. Wow. Why are you so straightforward? Lin Xian was shocked. What a kind sister with long legs. Sob sob sob, I'm touched. There are still many good people. Hey, what are your hands doing? Will you give me the money? Lin Xian glanced at her other hand. Drive carefully, don't get distracted. Use both hands. Muqingya was startled and dropped her phone. I'll get the money for you. But I suddenly remembered that I don't have any cash. Muqingya said. It's fine. Will you buy me a phone when we arrive? Then transfer the money to me? All right. She didn't care about anything now. She could only go along with him for the time being. Otherwise, if he was unhappy, she would be in danger. As for why he only asked for 10,000 yuan to buy a phone, she wasn't sure. It was the first time she had encountered such a thing. Lin Xian was very comfortable to meet such a kind and beautiful sister. Well, what's your name? Lin Xian asked. Muqingya. Nice name. Muqingya nodded stiffly and didn't answer. It was over. The phone fell. She couldn't get through to him. There were still 3 hours to drive to Jiangnan City. She didn't know what would happen to her in these 3 hours. My name is Lin Xian. Nice to meet you, Lin Xian said with a smile. Yes. Muqingya nodded. Hey, slow down. Slow down. Lin Xian couldn't help but shout. He didn't have a realm now. If she drove too fast, he would be dead if something happened. Muqingya just wanted to get to Jiangnan City as soon as possible. But he asked her to slow down, so she had to slow down. Do you have a cigarette? Lin Xian asked. Yes, It's in the glove compartment in front of you. Lin Xian opened the glove compartment and took out a pair of black panties. Lin Xian. Damn. You didn't do it in the car, did you? Lin Xian was shocked. My sisters. Mu Qingya didn't dare not to answer Lin Xian. It was over. It was over. If he saw this kind of thing, would he suddenly be lustful, and then it was indeed her sisters? As for why it was in her car, that girl liked to play. She drove her car and had fun with her friends. When they were drunk, they had a competition of whose panties were prettier. Then she threw it in her car. You have a sister? Your sister did it with someone else? Lin Xian asked in surprise. The world of the rich was crazy. I don't know. Lin Xian took out a pack of cigarettes and frowned. Soft. What? Lin Xian lit a cigarette and tried his best to suppress the excitement that came from his suspicion. Ahem. Mu Qingya coughed, drove to the slow lane and opened the window a little. You don't smoke? No. Then why do you have a cigarette? Damn it. I need it when I have dinner with a client. Mu Qingya said obediently, but her tone was cold. After all, this girl was like this. I see. Lin Xian nodded. Miss Qingya, you said you were going to Jiangnan City, right? Yes. Mu Qingya nodded. Is there Yanjing here? Yes. This person was so strange. Lin Xian swallowed. Is there Shanghai? Yes. Lin Xian. Is this Earth? Mu Qingya. This person was mentally unstable. No. It was too dangerous. She was too dangerous. Yes. Lin Xian. F***ck. Lin Xian shouted. Mu Qingya trembled. Although she was a strong woman and wasn't afraid of this kind of man, she was really helpless in this situation. Lin Xian sat there in shock, the hand holding the cigarette trembling. He returned to Earth? This was Earth. After passing through the God's awakening door, it was Earth. He couldn't control his shock and excitement. Earth. He was back. And he could go back again. He could go back in 3 months. That meant, if he could do something, he might be able to travel back and forth between Sky Blue Planet and Earth. Was it possible that he could do it without becoming a god? This? Little Shui. Lin Xian murmured. He left Earth and arrived at Sky Blue Planet about 3 years ago. If the timeline was the same, then 3 years had passed on Earth. Dongfang Shui. How was she? When he left, his heart was shattered by Xianyuan Qingtian of the Xianyuan family. He fell from a cliff and then transmigrated. Before that, Dongfang Shui was taken away by the Dongfang family. Xianyuan Qingtian had been coveting Dongfang Shui. Now he was back. But Chapter 1466. Lin Xian's brows furrowed tightly. The cultivation realms on Earth should be the same as on Heavenly Blue Planet. It was just that normal people couldn't cultivate. Even the names of the realms were the same. However, Lin Xian didn't know what realm the person with the most powerful spiritual power on Earth was at. And he didn't have a realm right now. If he wanted to find Dongfang Shui and go to the Dongfang family or the Xianyuan family, he needed to be at least at Mystic Heaven Realm. He knew that those two families had Mystic Heaven Realm cultivators. Little Shui, wait for me. I'll be back. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Miss Qingya, what year is it now? Lin Xian asked. 2020. Lin Xian's mouth gaped open. The timeline was the same. It was 2017 when he fell off the cliff. Lin Xian secretly clenched his fists. I'm F***king back. 3 months, that's enough. He only needed to earn 100 billion to reach Mystic Heaven Realm. Perhaps he would also be able to trigger other missions and increase his realm. Lin Xian didn't know why Heavenly Blue Planet was related to Earth. It was Earth that had passed through the Divine Awakening door. He was too shocked. This Divine Awakening door. What on earth was that door? The Light Association. What secrets were they hiding? Or could it be that they didn't know either? Lin Xian didn't believe it. They must know something. He felt like there was a huge mystery shrouding this place. Lin Xian exhaled deeply before taking 2 deep puffs of his cigarette. After smoking one, Lin Xian lit up another one. What does your company do? Lin Xian asked. Holy F***ck. A rich woman was right in front of him. If he could work with her, then perhaps it would be easy to earn money. Quite a lot of industries. Novels, games, clothing, cosmetics, luxury goods. Our main business is clothing and luxury goods. Impressive. Your father founded it? My father founded a novel and game company. I'm in clothing and luxury goods, she said. Holy F***ck. That's impressive. Can I work with you? Lin Xian asked. It's just that I have an idea that requires investment. It should be able to earn tens of billions, maybe even more. How much? 1 billion. Mu Qingya knew that he wanted to blackmail her, but he still said it in such a dignified way. This man was scheming. All right, Lin Xian. He didn't quite understand. Why did this big sister agree so easily? 1 billion was a huge sum of money. Even if he had the money, he should at least know what to do before making a decision. How strange. You're not a liar, are you? Lin Xian asked doubtfully. Mu Qingya. She was only temporarily submissive in order to survive. No. Lin Xian scratched his head. What a strange little sister. You don't want to listen to the content of the project? Tell me about it. Mu Qingya said. Hey, you're sweating. Turn on the air conditioner? Yes. Hey, this is hot wind. Mu Qingya was going crazy. Lin Xian was also going crazy. Why was there something wrong with this little sister? Are you crazy? Lin Xian glanced at her and asked. You're. Mu Qingya was about to refute, but then she stopped. She didn't dare. Why was her life so hard? If she had known, she would have stepped on the accelerator and killed this bad guy. Give me your hand, Lin Xian said. Mu Qingya frowned, and then reluctantly handed over her right hand. Lin Xian then checked her pulse. Although he didn't have a cultivation level for the time being, his medical skills were still there. He just couldn't use some medical skills that needed to be combined with spiritual force. Why is your heart beating so fast? I don't know. Lin Xian glanced at her. I see. You agree with everything I say. Do you like me? Mu Qingya? Ha ha ha. She smiled awkwardly. But you're really sick. Lin Xian frowned. Heart disease. Lin Xian was surprised. Congenital. Mu Qingya was surprised and then pulled her hand back. Go to sleep first. We'll arrive in Jiangnan City in 2 or 3 hours. Take a rest. I can drive. No, she hurriedly refused. He would drive? God knows where he will drive the car to. Then she would be doomed. You don't trust my driving skills? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Take a rest. She took a long breath. Okay. Lin Xian then leaned against the car and closed his eyes. Mu Qingya looked at Lin Xian out of the corner of her eye, and then quietly reached for her phone with her left hand. Do you have a boyfriend? Lin Xian suddenly asked. Mu Qingya quickly pulled her hand back. No. You should be 24 or 25 years old, right? You don't have a boyfriend yet? Oh, that's right. A girl like you has such high standards. No man is worthy of you. And it's hard to fancy you. You don't lack money or power, so you have to find someone you like. Lin Xian nodded and pondered. Tell me, what major events have happened on Earth in the past few years? Lin Xian then asked. 3 years was not a long time, but it was not short either. For example, the popularization of smartphones was just a matter of a moment. It could really change a lot. Mu Qingya thought that there must be something wrong with this person's brain. People with brain problems were the most dangerous. It seemed that there was nothing wrong with him now except for talking. But he was really dangerous. Nothing serious. Of course. Mu Qingya sighed and thought for a while. If there's anything serious, it's that there seemed to be a hole in the sky last year. I vaguely saw someone flying in the sky. That's all. Lin Xian frowned. Someone flying in the sky? Heavenly Master? Is there anything like a demon beast? Lin Xian asked. He's really sick. This person is really sick. No. Hey, you really have a heart disease. Lin Xian looked at her and said. I know. Can't you cure it? Go to sleep. Mu Qingya was really annoyed by this person. But she didn't dare to not reply or speak harshly. She was afraid that he would get angry and kill her. First slap, then kill. I'm not going to sleep. Chat with me for a while. Lin Xian wanted to know more about Earth from her. Along the way, Lin Xian learned a lot from her. In fact, there were not many changes. She probably didn't know much about the world of martial arts. In the eyes of ordinary people, this world was just an ordinary one. There was no such thing as martial arts. That was the plot in TV dramas and novels. In fact, it was not. Maybe your deskmate or someone in your school was actually a martial artist. You just didn't know it. You just hadn't come into contact with another world. Soon they arrived at Jiangnan City. But Mu Qingyao was very uncomfortable. She wanted to find a place to call for help, but it was 4 o'clock in the morning. It was late autumn and dawn might not come until 6 o'clock. So there were very few people. She didn't dare to call for help if there were 1 or 2 people. Chapter 1467. Lin Xian's gaze swept over everything. It didn't seem much different from 3 years ago, except that there were more things, more prosperous and taller buildings. Because Lin Xian used to live in Jiangnan City, he met Dongfang Shui by chance. Later, Dongfang Shui often came to Jiangnan City to play with him. Later, Lin Xian went to one of her private residences with her. It was also at that time that their feelings for each other fermented, and then they had sex. In the end, Lin Xian hung up. The mall is still here. Lin Xian looked at the Suning Square in front of him. It was very far from where he used to live because he didn't have much money at that time. This was the city and he couldn't afford to rent a house in the city. But what he was happiest about was that he could go shopping in the city when he was free. It was very fun and there were a lot of long legs. But at this time, only the street lights were on. Occasionally, there were a few shops with lights on. After all, it was too late. Bang. Mu Qingya got out of the car. She lived nearby. It was too dangerous for her and her sister to live alone. But she knew that at this time, there might be some shops open and there would be people, so she might find a chance to get out of danger. Are there any mobile phone stores open now? Lin Xian scratched his head and asked. No, but I know a store that is open 24 hours a day. Although it doesn't sell mobile phones, it sells mobile phones. Mu Qingya stood there and said, Okay, please take me there. Okay. Mu Qingya then walked over there. Then they saw a shop that wasn't too big. Welcome. A salesperson yawned and looked at them. When she saw Mu Qingya, she immediately became energetic. This woman was not simple at first glance. Lin Xian glanced at her. I want to buy a mobile phone. Okay, come over here. You can choose by yourself. Is there any model that you are interested in? Mu Qingya was about to sneak out when Lin Xian glanced at her and said, Recommend me one. Ah. Okay. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth and then walked out. No, it seems like this person is deliberately restricting my freedom of life. This person will definitely not let me leave him even half a step. His phone was still in the car. Even if he took it out, he definitely wouldn't have the chance to make a call. What to do? This is pretty good. Mu Qingya pointed at a phone that cost more than 10,000 yuan. It's too expensive. Lin Xian shook his head. Mu Qingya. Act. Keep pretending. That works too. The salesperson was stunned. This woman looks so beautiful and noble. How could she be with an ordinary man? She even bought him a phone? Could this man be her younger brother? He couldn't possibly be her boyfriend, right? No. If he was her younger brother, how could he not have a phone? How could he not be wearing branded clothes? What was he wearing? Lin Xian glanced at it. 5,000 yuan. He borrowed 10,000 yuan. He wouldn't rent a house for the remaining 5,000 yuan. He would stay in a hotel and slowly earn money. He should be able to survive. Lin Xian had been poor on earth and didn't know how to earn money. As a result, when Lin Xian returned here, he was traumatized. He felt that he might not be able to survive. Although he had become an existence on Sky Blue Planet, now that he had lost his cultivation, he couldn't do whatever he wanted here. He could go to jail. Okay, this one. Please wrap it up. Mu Qingya then said to Lin Xian. See if there's anything else you need. I'll pay for it. Then she and the salesperson walked a few meters to the side where there was a pen. Mu Qingya quickly took the pen and wrote 2 words on her palm. 4,999 yuan. Then she saw Mu Qingya's hand on the counter. The word help was written on her palm. She covered her mouth and looked at Mu Qingya. She saw a trace of pleading in her eyes. That's 5,000 yuan. Lin Xian said. Yes. Mu Qingya quickly withdrew her hand. Please wait a minute. This phone seems to be a second-rate phone. I seem to have taken the wrong one. Please wait for a minute. The salesperson hurried away and called the police. When she came back, she gave Mu Qingya a look. Mu Qingya let out a long breath. After buying the phone, they walked out. Mu Qingya didn't want to walk out because the police were already there. They would be here soon, but she couldn't find a way to delay it. Suddenly, she saw a barbecue stall across the road. Her eyes lit up. I'm hungry. I'll treat you to barbecue. Do you want to eat? Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Of course. Then the two walked over and ordered a bunch of barbecue. Of course. Aren't you hungry? Lin Xian ate the barbecue happily. Okay, Mu Qingya nodded. Meanwhile, the shop assistant kept looking at them from the opposite side, paying attention to where they were going. Hello, may I ask? You're finally here. It's the barbecue stall across the road. It's that man and woman. The woman seems to have been held hostage by the man. She wrote help on her palm, and I called the police. The plain-clothed officers looked over. Bastard. I hate this kind of people the most. On the other side, Lin Xian grinned. It smells so good. Mu Qingya replied with a grunt. All of a sudden, a few figures ran over. Don't move. They pointed their guns at Lin Xian from all directions. Lin Xian. Gulp, he swallowed the barbecue. What? Lin Xian looked at them in confusion. Put your hands on your head. Lin Xian. No, what did I do? Shoot your head. Qin Yijuan shouted loudly. Lin Xian held his head bitterly. Come here. Qin Yijuan pointed her gun at Lin Xian and said to Mu Qingya. Mu Qingya quickly ran behind her. Qingya? She looked at Mu Qingya in surprise. Yijuan. Mu Qingya felt wronged. Damn it. Qin Yijuan gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Cuff him. Then, the miserable Lin Xian was handcuffed. Is there anything dangerous on him? Sir, I didn't see anything. Take him back. Yes. Hey. Why did you arrest me? I'm not a prostitute. She's not a prostitute. Lin Xian shouted. You're a prostitute. Bastard. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth. Qingya, what's going on? Qin Yijuan frowned and asked. On the way here from Tianing City, I met him on the highway, and then, she told Qin Yijuan what happened. I see. Don't worry, leave it to me. Go back and rest. You've been driving all night. Don't you need to take a statement? No, go back. Okay. You must punish him severely. No problem. Chapter 1468. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Why did you kidnap me? Why did you kidnap me? Lin Xian had a miserable look on his face in the interrogation room. Why did I kidnap you? How dare you kidnap the CEO of Jiangnan City's Musher Group? You'll be in jail for a long time. Lin Xian. What the hell? Even now, Lin Xian was still dumbfounded. Click. At this time, the door of the interrogation room opened and Qin Yijuan walked in. Boss. The two men quickly stood up. Get out. I'll interrogate this person myself. Qin Yijuan said. Yes. Then they walked out. The CEO of Musher Group is a good friend of our boss. Now that she's been kidnapped, our boss must be furious. This kid is done for. She'll lower your voice. Don't let our boss hear us talking about her. Just watch. Lin Xian looked over. This woman was also beautiful. Wow. He had lived on Earth for more than 20 years. Why hadn't he met such a beautiful woman? Why were the two living people so beautiful when he came back? This girl's skin wasn't that fair, but her facial features were really exquisite. She had a valiant aura and seemed to be on par with Mu Qingya. However, if Lin Xian had to choose, Lin Xian would definitely choose Mu Qingya. That kind of girl was Lin Xian's cup of tea. Qin Yijuan sat in front of Lin Xian and took out the interrogation book. Name. Wife. Qin Yijuan. I'm asking for your name. Wife. Bang. Qin Yijuan slammed the table angrily. Kid, be honest. Name. Wife. F*ck. Bang. She stepped on the table, and a crack appeared on the table. Lin Xian. F*ck. She's not bad. Speak. Or I'll do it. Lin Xian looked at her legs. Your legs are so white. Lin Xian grinned. You. She was shocked. Have you given up on struggling? Qin Yijuan sneered and sat down. No, I didn't do anything. Why did you bring me in for no reason? I'm going to sue you for violating my freedom. Nothing. She had already secretly written a message asking for help on her palm. And she didn't do anything? Qin Yijuan glared at Lin Xian angrily. Lin Xian. What the heck? That woman? It can't be, right? Did she think that he was the criminal who had kidnapped her? Wow. He was such a pure and kind person. Yet he was treated as Lin Xian felt wronged. It's a misunderstanding. Lin Xian said hurriedly. Misunderstanding? Then tell me what kind of misunderstanding it is. I hope you can cooperate. If you cooperate well, you can spend less time in jail. Lin Xian. I still have to go to jail. Tell me your name. Lin Xian shrugged. Lin Xian. Home address. Jiangnan Street, Jiangnan City, Unit 1, Building 3, Unit 202. Qin Yijuan sat there and used the computer system to check. Why don't you tell me the truth? That house is not signed by you. I'm a tenant. Lin Xian. Qin Yijuan frowned and checked. Address from 3 years ago? The most recent one. Recently, I've been wandering the streets. The world is my home. The sky is my blanket and the earth is my bed. Bang. She slammed the table angrily. Tell me. It's true. Also, can you stop slamming the table? You're so strong, my heart aches. Phew, Qin Yijuan took a deep breath. Where's your ID? Lost? You. I really lost it. Otherwise, why would I borrow money from Miss Qingya to buy a phone? I lost my phone and everything. Also, I really didn't kidnap her. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly. Zhang Ming. Boss. A man walked in. Help me check the personal information of Lin Xian, the tenant of this address from 3 years ago. Yes. Then Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes, walked to the door, and locked it from the inside. What are you doing? Lin Xian was shocked. Qin Yijuan twisted her neck. What am I doing? If you don't cooperate with the interrogation, I'll beat you up. Hey, it's against the rules to beat a criminal. Lin Xian hurriedly said. Rules? I'm the rule. Then she walked to Lin Xian and lifted Lin Xian. I'll ask you one last time. Kidnapping Qingya. Do you belong to some organization? Who's your boss? Is he in Jiangnan City? Lin Xian. I said I didn't kidnap her. F***CKU. Are you scolding me? Just you wait. Lin Xian said angrily. Wow. Isn't this bullying? Fine. Whoosh, without hesitation. She lifted her leg and swept it at Lin Xian. Lin Xian. What a shrewish woman. Whoosh, Lin Xian's hands were cuffed, but he dodged backward. Not bad, you're not simple. Qin Yijuan rushed to Lin Xian and greeted Lin Xian with a military boxing move. However, even though Lin Xian's hands were cuffed, he still easily took her blows. Qin Yijuan was shocked. The people in front of the surveillance camera also widened their eyes. Damn. This person is so strong. Head didn't even hit him once? That person's hands are still handcuffed. Very strong. Very strong. An ordinary person can't have this kind of strength. No wonder Head wants to interrogate him personally. He must be a member of some organization. Damn. Look. Then, they widened their eyes to see Lin Xian pressing their heads under his body. Their hands and legs were all restrained by Lin Xian. Let go. Qin Yijuan kept struggling, but she couldn't muster any strength. This person was so strong. Are you bullying me? I won't let go. Lin Xian's position was just right against her. Then he purposely pushed forward. Qin Yijuan. You. I'll kill you. She roared angrily, but she couldn't break free from Lin Xian's restraint. Lin Xian let out a naughty laugh and held her nai with both hands. He suddenly exerted force. Ouch. Qin Yijuan. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Qin Yijuan shouted angrily. Bang, two people broke through the door and barged in. Let go. They pointed their guns at Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Let go. Lin Xian then let go of Qin Yijuan. She stood up with her hair disheveled. Give it to me. She directly grabbed a gun from one of them. Click, the gun was loaded. Hey head, don't be rash. They were suddenly shocked. Phew, Qin Yijuan took a deep breath. Handcuff him to the chair. She gritted her teeth. She wasn't done with him. Then, Lin Xian was handcuffed to the chair. Head, we found it. One of them handed the information to Qin Yijuan. Qin Yijuan took a deep breath and glanced at it. It was a person in the photo, which meant that it was indeed him, but she frowned. Died 3 years ago because he fell off a cliff while climbing? Chapter 1469. Qin Yijuan was shocked. Dead. This person was dead? Then who was the person standing in front of her? Wait, Qingya said that she saw this person stopping cars on the highway. Standing alone in the middle of the highway in the middle of the night. It was scary. Plus, with this information, could it be, gulp, Qin Yijuan swallowed. No. How could there be ghosts? How could there be ghosts in this world? Plus, he was dressed like a normal person and his body wasn't dirty. The only explanation was forgery. He forged a death certificate for himself. That was to say, he had a secret. Plus, he wanted to kidnap Mu Qingya. He must belong to an extremely scary organization. He even forged a death certificate to make him disappear from the world. He must not be simple. Plus, he defeated her easily even when he was handcuffed. She had the right to be suspicious. But there were some suspicious points. First, with his ability, he didn't need to go through so much trouble to kidnap Mu Qingya. He could have just taken her away. He wouldn't make such a mistake. Second, if he forged a death certificate, why did he tell her his original identity? So annoying. So strange. Lin Xian. Lin Xian was stunned by her muttering. Damn. Yes, in this world he should be dead. Even if no one found out that he was dead. It was strange that he didn't show any signs of activity for several years. Obviously, the Xianyuan family forged a death certificate for him. Did he fall off the cliff and die? Who are you? Qin Yijuan wasn't in the mood for revenge now. She didn't want to take revenge on this bastard for standing up for her. No. To be precise, she wanted to make a big deal out of this Lin Xian. If she could get some information from him and get him sentenced to death, that would be the best way to vent her anger. Me? I'm just an ordinary person. If you're not dead, why do you have a death certificate? Qin Yijuan stared at Lin Xian. Actually, I did fall off the cliff that year. The heart-burying cliff is thousands of meters deep. Lin Xian. And then? When I woke up, I found that I was blocked by a tree branch. At the same time, I found that there was a cave behind the tree branch on the cliff. So I went in, and then I found that there was a skeleton from many years ago in the cave. In front of the skeleton, there was a cultivation technique called 9 suns squeezing. Divine technique. I went through the cave, and behind it was a paradise. I cultivated the divine technique there for 3 years. Now that I came out of the mountain, I lost my ID card and no money. Qin Yijuan. Motherf asterisk cur. You don't want to talk, right? Qin Yijuan then said, lock him in. Yes, boss. Hey, you can't do this. Lin Xian was then bitterly locked up. Lin Xian felt terrible. He still had a mission. Boss, that man. Qin Yijuan sat in front of the computer and said, all of you are to work overtime tonight. No one is allowed to leave. Go through all the information on that Lin Xian. Boss, my wife has given birth. A man said aggrievedly. Another man picked up his cell phone. What? My wife made me a cuckold? I'm coming over. Another man clutched his stomach and ran to the toilet. All of you come back. Qin Yijuan shouted, then pointed at them and said, this is a big case. If it's solved, all of you might get first-class merit. A person forged a death certificate. Say if the case behind this is investigated. Look at Zhang Ming, he has already started investigating. F***ck. Forged a death certificate? My stomach doesn't hurt anymore. What? My wife is done? Then I'm not going. Then a group of people worked overtime like crazy. Boss, there's nothing special about this person. They went through all the information on Lin Xian. Before that, he was just someone who didn't even go to high school. His junior high school was just an ordinary junior high school student. After graduation, he started working. He washed cars, worked as a networker, and served dishes. If there's anything special about him, it would be that he swept the floor of Shaolin Temple for 3 months. The house he rented was only 300 yuan a month. He never got into a fight, never committed a crime, and I don't think he had a girlfriend. That's right. This was Lin Xian's life on earth. It was so bitter that it couldn't get any more bitter. It was a pure loser. There's another point. He was actually an orphan. Qin Yijuan frowned. If you said that there was no problem, there was indeed no problem. But now, it felt like there was a big problem. A forged death certificate, a pure loser, disappeared for 3 years, and became so powerful. 3 years of blank. What happened? Can you find anything else? Does he have any friends? Friends. He has one. He's been with him for a long time. Zhang Yang, his junior high school classmate. He's also a loser. Now, let me check. Well, he's now working as a security guard for the Mu Group. Mu Group? Qin Yijuan frowned. Why did he feel like so many things were inexplicably linked together? Boss, if we can't find any evidence, what he did doesn't constitute a crime. We have to let him go. Zhang Ming said. F***ck. That's right. What Lin Xian did didn't constitute a crime. Lin Xian didn't threaten Mu Qingya. Secondly, he didn't cause any physical harm to her. Thirdly, he didn't rob her or rape her. He even borrowed money to buy the phone. So, he had to be released after 48 hours. Damn it. Damn it. Qin Yijuan was very unhappy. Why did she feel that this person was a big case? Okay, go back and rest. Qin Yijuan put on her coat and left the police station helplessly. She had to find Mu Qingya. If she wasn't asleep, she could talk to her about the details. Lin Xian lay there with his eyes closed, feeling very helpless. Normally, he could cultivate, but the system made it so that he could only recover his cultivation by completing tasks. So he couldn't cultivate now. F***ck. It's really full of misfortunes. But there's no evidence. I can only be detained for 2 days at most, right? Anyway, I didn't do anything. They won't be able to find anything. Thinking of this, Lin Xian went to sleep comfortably. The next morning, Qin Yijuan and Mu Qingya came to the police station together. Qingya, you slept with me last night. I've already told you about this Lin Xian. Do you have any other details? Mu Qingya shook her head. I thought about it carefully. Maybe I'm too sensitive. He didn't do anything to threaten my safety. Mu Qingya looked at her and said, You didn't feel threatened at all? No, it just felt weird. It was as if he used to be an earthling, or he hadn't seen the world for a long time. That's the feeling. Mu Qingya pondered. Chapter 1470. Hearing Mu Qingya's words, Qin Yijuan thought of Lin Xian's words. Could it be that this person had really cultivated for 3 years? Bah! How could she believe such nonsense? Yijuan, what's wrong? Did you find something? Mu Qingya took a sip of hot water and glanced at Qin Yijuan. Qin Yijuan shook her head. No, on the contrary, this man is a loser. Mu Qingya tidied her hair and stood up. Maybe I'm too sensitive. I'm going to the company. Call me if you need anything. Okay. Then Mu Qingya walked away. So annoying. Qin Yijuan scratched her hair and went to the room where Lin Xian was kept. Hey. Qin Yijuan leaned against the wall and looked at Lin Xian. Sister, let him go. Lin Xian stood up and looked at Qin Yijuan. Do you think you can still get out? Qin Yijuan took a sip of tea and said. Tell me what crime I committed. I didn't rob or threaten anyone. I borrowed money to buy the phone. What crime did I commit? Be careful or I'll sue you. Lin Xian glared at the woman. So beautiful. He didn't waste his time last night. Click. Qin Yijuan opened the door. Let's go. Lin Xian walked out and glanced at her. Wait and see. You've wasted my whole day. I'm the kind that costs hundreds of thousands of yuan per minute. Lin Xian said. Come on, you poor B***starred. You borrowed money to buy a phone. Then she threw Lin Xian's phone to him. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. See you later. Lin Xian didn't want to stay here any longer and quickly ran away. Boss, didn't you suspect him? He hasn't been here for 48 hours. Why did you let him go? Zhang Ming asked in confusion. Humph. Qin Yijuan smiled. Don't worry about it. Why did she release Lin Xian? Don't forget who she was. Lin Xian's phone was already bugged and tracked by her. She didn't believe that she wouldn't be able to find out if anything happened to him. Lin Xian walked on the bustling street. His head hurt. I only bought a cell phone and forgot to borrow money. Fortunately, I ate some skewers last night, so I can still hold on for now. I wonder, did Xiao Shui change her phone number? Lin Xian picked up his phone and muttered to himself as he walked forward. He was a little excited. Then, Lin Xian dialed the number that had been hidden in his memory for a long time. The number you have dialed does not exist. Lin Xian sighed. I'm just looking forward to it. Now it was very clear. Earn money and share the boyfriend quest. Lin Xian sat down on a bench by the roadside and turned on his phone. Then Lin Xian got a website and entered it. Lin Xian had the highest authority. Lin Xian took a look. What did it mean? If the girls needed to pretend to be a boyfriend, they could come to this website and send a message. Lin Xian selected 2 and went to do the quest. Of course, he had to make the 2 girls fall in love with him. Lin Xian took a look. Not a single one. Hey system, do I need to advertise? Ding. No. If you do, the girls will automatically know about this website in their minds. Okay. Can I borrow some money? I'm hungry. System. Ding. No. Lin Xian felt that it was very difficult for him. Why did he feel that nothing was as easy as on Sky Blue Planet after coming to this world? Maybe it was because he didn't have the strength. Mu Qingyao was sitting in her office reading some contracts. After all, she was the boss of a big company. At this time, someone opened the door and walked in. Mu Qingyao raised her head to take a look. She was confused at first. Why didn't someone knock before entering her office? Then, Mom, why are you here? The person who came in was a well-maintained woman. She must have been very beautiful when she was young. But because the people in this world didn't cultivate, there were many traces of age on her face. Why are you still in the company today? I arranged several blind dates for you. They are all sons of business tycoons, or the most outstanding boys of your generation. Don't work today. Leave it to your assistant. Hurry up and change your clothes for the blind dates. Mu Qingyao had a splitting headache. Mom, I don't want to go on blind dates. Don't want to go on blind dates? Qingyao, how old are you? You're 25. Most people have children at that age. It's not like you can't find a boyfriend. Your father is not in good health. You should find a boyfriend and get married. We don't lack money and don't need to earn much. Zhang Ting came over and packed her things. I sigh. That's right. This was what gave Mu Qingyao a headache. 25 was not a small age. Earth was different from Sky Blue Planet. On Sky Blue Planet, people could have realms and slow down aging. But here, everything was normal. But she really hadn't met a boy she liked. Blind dates. Yes, those boys were indeed outstanding and there were many who pursued her. But what could she do if she didn't like them? Mom, I have a boyfriend. Mu Qingyao could only find an opportunity to dodge it. What? You have a boyfriend? Zhang Ting was stunned. Yes. I just found a boyfriend 2 days ago. How is he? Mu Qingyao said. Not bad. Zhang Ting looked at her beautiful daughter. Daughter, don't lie to me. No, Mom. I'll take him home tonight to show you and Dad. Mu Qingyao said. You young people like to find someone to pretend to be your boyfriend. You suddenly have a boyfriend. Don't tell me you're also. Mu Qingyao. No, Mom. Don't worry. Then call him now. I want to hear it. Mu Qingyao. He's at work and probably doesn't have time. He only has some time in the evening. What does he do? He's an entrepreneur. Zhang Ting glanced at her daughter. Take him home tonight. Okay. Then she walked away. Mu Qingya took a long breath, sat on the chair and rubbed her temples. What could she do? She opened her beautiful eyes, which were cold and helpless. Then she quickly turned on the computer and entered a website. Seeing the phone number on the website, she dialed it. Hello. On the other side, Lin Xian stealthily used his wallet to pay and was eating fried noodles. Are you the customer service representative for Shared Boyfriend? Lin Xian bit off the fried noodles and nodded quickly. Yes. I need to pretend to be a boyfriend. I only need to have a normal appearance, but I need to be very cultured and know all kinds of business information. It's best if I have some talents. Do you have any? The task is started. The host will receive various talents such as piano and guitar. Lin Xian swallowed. No problem, Lin Xian said. Chapter 1471. Lin Xian didn't expect it to be Mu Qingya. How could there be such a coincidence in such a big place with so many people? Mu Qingya wouldn't think it was Lin Xian on the other end of the phone. She didn't know what Lin Xian's phone number was. Lin Xian asked, when? 7 o'clock tonight. I'll wait for you in room 3 of Yixian restaurant at 6 o'clock. I have something to tell you in advance. Lin Xian took a sip of noodles and nodded. Okay. Mu Qingya frowned when she heard the sound of noodles being slurped. Just a friendly reminder. My parents aren't ordinary people. She said this sentence. No problem. Lin Xian. Okay. What's the reward? Mu Qingya asked. 100,000. She frowned. It was not that she couldn't afford it, but 100,000 for pretending to be her boyfriend? Isn't it a bit expensive? Mu Qingya asked. She even wondered if he was a scammer. We are the best of the best. As you said, your parents aren't ordinary people. It's a test for our staff. I promise you that our staff can make you have no worries at all. Your parents-in-law will like you very much. Mu Qingya thought for a while. But since they dared to ask for so much money, it proved that they were confident. If you can do it well, I'll give you 5 times the reward. Okay. See you at 6. Mu Qingya hung up the phone. Lin Xian ate up the noodles, paid 8 yuan and walked away. Do I need to be talented? Do I need to know how to do business? My parents-in-law like me, but that's not what they need. Lin Xian had a lot of experience meeting his parents-in-law, so he knew this. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Mu Qingya waited for Lin Xian in room 3 of Yixian restaurant. She had bought the gifts herself. She would pretend that her fake boyfriend bought them. Her parents liked all of them. As a daughter, she knew very well. Knock, knock, knock. Come in, Mu Qingya said lightly. Then the door was pushed open and Lin Xian walked in. Hello, I am F***CK. Why are you here? Lin Xian was stunned when he saw the cold and beautiful woman in front of him. Mu Qingya. Was this person poisonous? How could it be him? Did he not look at the almanac for the past few days? Wasn't it because he was talented and skilled? Know how to do business. What the hell was this? Why is it him? Could it be that he had planned all of this? Otherwise, how could it be so coincidental? But that website, it's impossible. How did you? Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, I know what you want to say, but everything is so coincidental. Don't you think it's coincidental? I just finished building my website and was preparing to start my business, and you became my website's first customer. Mu Qingya hurriedly took out her phone to check. The website was registered yesterday. This? I'm convinced. Then how did he know about this website? Right, it seemed that the website's advertisement popped up when she was surfing the internet. Did this person finish building the website and the advertisement in a day? Phew, Mu Qingya took a deep breath. Really, then it's you. It was too late now. She had to go home at 7 o'clock, and it was 6 o'clock now. Could she just find a random person on the street? Since this person in front of her had built the website, he must be better than her finding a random person, right? If I serve you wholeheartedly, I'll deduct 5,000 yuan from the 100,000 yuan reward. The remaining 5,000 yuan is the money I used to pay you back for the phone. Lin Xian smiled. Anything is fine. Mu Qingya nodded. It was too coincidental. But she didn't think Lin Xian was a liar or a scammer. If he wanted to kidnap her, why did he have to do this? He could just do it in the middle of the night. There was no need to go through so much trouble. Everything was a coincidence, but the coincidence was a little scary. Then do you meet the requirements I gave you? Mu Qingya asked. Mu Qingya had a splitting headache when she saw Lin Xian's expression. I'm versatile. I can do anything you can think of. Lin Xian said. That's not important. How about business? It's okay. My company has a market value of about a few 100 million yuan, maybe more. Mu Qingya. Where did this idiot come from? A company with a market value of tens of trillions. And he wanted to borrow 5,000 yuan from me to buy a phone? Was this person crazy? What's the tax rate of a company? Mu Qingya asked. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. What do you mean by going public? What's GDP? Mu Qingya. She could randomly pick up a random person on the street. At least he knew about GDP and going public, right? She was speechless. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth. You want to take orders from me? The Mu family is a business family. My parents will definitely ask you some questions. If you can't even answer these questions, how can you pretend to be my boyfriend? Mu Qingya was about to explode with anger. Then let me ask you, what's the ultimate purpose of bringing your boyfriend home? Lin Xian asked. Mu Qingya frowned. To satisfy my parents. By the way, if I can satisfy your parents, they won't want me as their son-in-law. As long as I can do this, you don't have to worry about the rest. You. Mu Qingya took a deep breath. She had no choice. Should she call her mother and tell her that her boyfriend couldn't come today because of something? That wouldn't do. She would like her. Damn it. It would be in this bastard's hands. Forget it. Then your clothes will have to. Lin Xian waved his hand. No. Do you know what contrast is? First, I'll leave a bad impression on my parents-in-law. Then I'll quickly change their impression of me with my talents. I've done my research. You don't have to worry. Mu Qingya. Phew. I'll believe you for now. There was nothing she could do even if she didn't believe him. There were two important things now. First, they couldn't let their parents know that they were pretending. Second, they had to satisfy their parents so that they wouldn't let them go on blind dates anymore. But why did it feel like everything was falling apart? So be it. Let fate take its course. This is my information. You have an hour to memorize it, including when we met, how we fell in love with each other, what my hobbies are, and what I hate. Mu Qingya handed a stack of information to Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Where's your information? Mu Qingya reached out her hand. Lin Xian, male, 23 years old, 20 centimeters. Mu Qingya. Are you crazy? Orphan junior high school, came out to work in junior high school. This is my information. You can make up the rest. Mu Qingya. Phew, she took a deep breath. She was in a bad mood. What kind of sin had she committed? Oh, you have a younger sister? Lin Xian flipped through the information, and his eyes lit up. Chapter 1472. For a pervert like Lin Xian, a sister was the best. Sister. This elder sister was so beautiful. She was the CEO of a big company. She was beautiful, rich, and beautiful. The younger sister was definitely not bad either. She was the most fragrant sister-in-law. I've talked to her. Her name is Mu Feifei. Baboon? Mu Qingya? Shut up. Lin Xian coughed. Okay, it's about time. Lin Xian. You're done? Almost. Mu Qingya. Be serious. This is very important to me. Mu Qingya said. I know. Don't worry. Phew. Mu Qingya had accepted her fate. What else could she do? There was no time to find someone else. Let's go. We'll see in the car. Then Lin Xian got into her car. You're so rich. This car must be worth tens of millions, right? Lin Xian sighed. It's none of your business. Mu Qingya was very upset. Hey, I'm your boyfriend. I have the right to know something about you. Mu Qingya started the car and nodded. 50 million. Lin Xian. Damn. I say, do you upper-class people like such expensive cars? How shallow. Don't you men only like beautiful women? Mu Qingya glanced at Lin Xian. She couldn't refute that. Lin Xian put his hand on her leg. What are you doing? Mu Qingya shouted coldly. I'm your boyfriend. You don't want us to not do anything intimate at all. Or do you want us to suddenly react violently and arouse suspicion, right? Mu Qingya. Good girl. Lin Xian put his hand on her leg and didn't take it off. I'm serious. This is very important to me. You have to be more careful. Lin Xian nodded. He wanted to smoke but found that he didn't have any. He had no money. Right now Lin Xian didn't have a single cent on him. Do you have any cigarettes? No. Lend me some money. No. Why? I'm going home soon. My mother doesn't like men who smoke, Mu Qingya said. No more. Let's go. Lin Xian. You don't remember? Got it. Mu Qingya? Forget it. She then started the car and sped towards her home. Soon, they arrived at a villa area. The security in this villa area was definitely better than almost any other place, not to mention other places. The car stopped in the garage of a huge 3-story villa. Mu Qingya took off her sunglasses and walked out. Carry it. She handed the gift to Lin Xian. Lin Xian took it, and Mu Qingya held Lin Xian's arm, and the two of them walked to the gate. Sister, you're back. Brother-in-law too. Before the gate was opened, Lin Xian heard a voice coming from inside. It sounded a bit like Lu Yufan. Then the gate of the villa was opened, and a beautiful girl with 2 ponytails ran in front of them. The girl had obviously deliberately styled her hair in 2 ponytails, but it was really pretty. Lin Xian glanced at her. Sure enough, the sister was so beautiful, so the sister must be pretty. Although she was the sister, she wasn't 16 or 17 years old. She was probably 20 years old. She was very tall, had fair skin, was beautiful, and was rich. She was fragrant. Hello, sister, brother-in-law. Mu Feifei then bowed. Lin Xian. Her acting was a bit fake. Mu Feifei then looked at Lin Xian. Then she glanced at Mu Qingya. What was this sister doing? If you're looking for a fake boyfriend, you should at least look for someone super handsome and classy. Why does this person look so ordinary? No, if she was pretending to be you, she should at least wear a suit or something. What was the meaning of this casual outfit? What brand was this? Also, why did this person keep staring at her chest? Lin Xian smiled and reached out to rub her little head. Mu Feifei. Brother-in-law, give me the thing. Mu Feifei reached out to take the thing in Lin Xian's hand and walked in. Your sister is quite pretty. She doesn't look like a girl who would take off her underwear. Lin Xian looked at Mu Qingya with a smile. Get lost. Mu Qingya said grumpily. Lin Xian shrugged, and then the two of them walked in. The living room was huge, beautiful, and magnificent. A middle-aged man was sitting on the sofa, looking at his phone. There was tea on the coffee table in front of him, and a woman was busy in the kitchen. They should be her parents. Dad. Mu Qingya called. Mu Hao raised his head and looked at Lin Xian. He frowned. His daughter's boyfriend disappointed him a little. He was dressed ordinarily, had an ordinary temperament, and didn't look very handsome. But what was a little special was that he exuded a sense of confidence. This feeling made Mu Hao feel that he was not simple. There was no other way. Lin Xian was in existence on Sky Blue Planet. How could Lin Xian not be confident in front of these people? Dad, this is Lin Xian, my boyfriend. Mu Qingya took Lin Xian's arm and introduced him. Hello, uncle. Lin Xian smiled. Mu Hao nodded. Yes, have a seat. Okay, uncle. Lin Xian then sat next to Mu Hao with a smile. Mu Qingya was nervous to death. At this time, Zhang Ting walked over. You're here. She looked at Lin Xian. Her expression was similar to Mu Hao's. Both of them frowned. They knew their daughter's Sunshine very well. This kid looked ordinary at first glance. Was there something special about him that attracted their daughter? Or were they just acting? Working overtime boyfriend? She didn't know. Hello, Auntie. Lin Xian stood up and said with a smile. Hey, sit. What do you want to drink? Zhang Ting asked with a smile. Anything is fine, Lin Xian said with a smile. Okay, Auntie will get you a cup of tea. Zhang Ting then walked away. Mu Feifei sat not far away and looked at Lin Xian. Her sister's fake boyfriend was quite brave. Ordinary people would not dare to come to her house if they knew that he was pretending to be her boyfriend. Mu Qingyao was nervous to death. Zhang Ting poured a glass of water and handed it to Lin Xian. Thank you, Auntie. Your name is Lin Xian, right? Lin Xian took a sip of water and nodded. Yes, the Xian from the Great Waves. How long have you known Qingya? Lin Xian. A year. We just confirmed our relationship a while ago. Oh, Auntie, your daughter is really hard to woo. In order to woo her, I feel like I've been reborn. I was curious at first, but after seeing Auntie today, I understand Uncle's difficulties. It must have been harder for Uncle to woo Auntie than it was for me, right? Mu Qingya. Bootlicker. Oh no, you're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.